Microphone check, microphone check, microphone check, microphone check, microphone check, microphone check, microphone. Hotep Senu Hena Senut. Oh. Hotep Senu Hena Senut Itiren Ishakanduku Kemet. I hope you're doing well. No intro today. Gonna get straight to the point. And if there's nobody, then it's going to be a short one. The title of this video is, or this live stream, let's say, Are You Against Child Molesters? The Black conscious community is not. We already have V. Bennett in the place to be. Now, what we have seen lately is that the Pan African conscious community accepts anti Black teachings, anti African teaching. They embrace rapists, pedophiles, child molesters, scammers, thieves, to each his own. Oh, V. Bennett is there. What's up, brother?
Yeah, Hotep Shaka, how you doing, bro?
Oh, I'm chilling, brother. How about yourself?
Oh man, I'm chilling. I'm so chilling. I'm so fresh today. Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness. I had a long work week and I'm just so happy to have the first of a few days off, man, where I can really like just relax for a minute, you know? But I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you just all the work you're doing, Shaka, man. You know, it's very difficult to do the work you're doing, do it with some integrity, and also to take so much resentment from the ones we call brothers, you know. And that's the thing that just I don't understand it, because if brothers can't chop it up, if we're not willing to sharpen each other's steel, if we're not willing to constructively criticize, analyze, then how can we be anything? How can we be family? How can we be community? I mean, I'm at a loss for it. But I think we're reaching a point now where it's becoming more difficult to run.
Hmm.
And I think that's exactly the place where we need to remain. We need to keep doing exactly what we're doing. And of course you make it easy for the rest of us.
Oh yeah, I mean, now you can't leave. Just like in the movie, A Bronx Tale. Um, it is sad for me because this acceptance of some of the lowest behavior recently came from some people that I did not expect would display that. However, for a few years, I've been saying this. I've been saying that the Pan Africans accept rapists and pedophiles. Now, we have people who said that MLK, Martin Luther King, wasn't and recently, even Tupac Shakur wasn't until he came out of jail.
Right.
I mean, there's disrespect of our elders. There's disrespect of the people who have transited, or in other words, ancestors. There's disrespect of Africans, celebrating the death of Africans. I mean, my goodness, like at this point, it's so pitiful. And those are the conscious people.
Or the
Yeah.
so-called conscious people, uh the people that you know, speaking of brothers and sisters, we entrust, when we say brothers and sisters, we're entrusting that that person that calls out another as brother, or calls out another as sister, or claims to be Pan-African, or even claims to be for the community, we're entrusting them with a lot. We're entrusting them with a lot. And when we see them just throw all sanity, all wisdom, all respect of anything that has played a role in strengthening our community, when we see them throw those things to the curb with such disrespect, it hurts. And it should hurt all of us. It shouldn't just hurt you, Shaka. You see what I mean? And a lot of us need to get out of this position where we play the fence, where we know what's being said is wrong, where we know what's being done is wrong, but yet we won't pick a side.
Yeah.
I think that we got to get out of that, because it is just it's embarrassing. It harms us politically. It harms us socially. I mean, somehow these characters, they found a way to harm the African diaspora and the Black community, African Americans, Black Americans. They found a way to harm us in every way, which shape and form, to make us the enemies of all, somehow, somehow, and that is just got to be addressed. And so if it takes a couple of more days, which sure it won't take, if it takes 10 more years, that's what it's going to take. But it has to be addressed, and it has to be put down, and the way that we can all do it is by having a conversation, by every day keep coming back, every single day, every day that they want to throw out some hate, every day that they want to throw out one of our elders in such a disrespectful way, every day that they want to hate on Black women, we have to come back and explain how horrific and foul it is. Every day that they want to hate on any decent individual in the diaspora, and we don't all have to be the same, but we can't trample on each other either. It just doesn't work that way. So we got to get serious. And with these people that are putting these messages out, I say, come over to this platform. Why you always got to have the control over the wheel yourself before you have a debate? Are you scared? Are you scared of your intellectual capacity? Are you scared that your positions are going to be called out by people that are more prepared than you? I think they scared, Shaka. I think they scared.
Well, they have a good thing going on for themselves. They have a good hustle, and I guess some ladies are desperate, so they go there so they can have a sex husband. They can say, "I have a husband." He only hit it, nothing
Well,
written.
it depends. It
Hmm.
depends on what you say, what you think successful is. I mean, I'm starting to look at this a little bit different than I was in the beginning. You know, in the beginning, I used to sit back and I used to say, "Wow, man, how do they have all these people watching this stuff? How are all these people, listening and following?" And then I said, you know what? Let me not be so. Let me not take such a strong position and just believe everything I think I'm seeing with my eyes. And now I'm starting to realize that, yo, actually, all that glitters ain't gold. I mean, I would like to ask Sonetta, you do how much work on your channel every day? How many of these people do you have on your channel every day? And let me ask you the real question. Do you get paid at all? I mean, usually when you got so many videos up there, usually when you're putting so much work in there, you get some compensation from it, right? Usually that's how YouTube works, right? But I'm starting to think Sonetta ain't really getting paid nothing for all that work. And I'm starting to think it's the debates where he charged people money. That's the lifeline. People like Jabari that people pay money to see. But I mean, as you know, the last time Jabari was on there, what came out a couple of weeks after this, Sonetta made some announcement that I don't know who it was. Somebody ran off with the money. I mean, is that the first time we heard that? So it's starting to make sense how the business is done. And all I'm saying to these so-called brothers, right? Because there's no sisters over there scamming. Let's be honest about it. Sisters got something better to do. But I'm starting to think that if people like Jabari um stop, take a stand, and maybe one or two other people, that it's over for that. It's over for them. It's over for that platform. It's over for the house of hate. That's what I think. I don't think it's so far away, brother, at all. But
Well,
again, maybe they
go ahead.
listening, maybe they not. Why should they believe us, right? Sometimes people got to experience all of it before they just admit it.
Well, it's not my goal or my wish, but I think some revelations are going to be made. And I remember Chris Rock. He had a stand up, and he made a joke about Michael Jackson. He said, like, another kid, and it's like, oh no, I'm through now. And it's like, we love Michael Jackson so much, we let the first kid slide. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I don't know if he was guilty of that. It was a joke, really. I don't know if he was guilty of that accusation, but they have successfully in their circle, because in any respectable circle, these things will not be accepted. But within their circle, they have successfully came up with a narrative that talking about child molestation is gossiping. Laugh now, cry later. Sometimes some things that you are proud of today are the very things that you are ashamed of tomorrow, you know?
Hmm.
And sometimes you have to wonder, where is the sanity gone?
You know
Now,
what, Shaka? Oh, go ahead.
mhm,
Sorry, bro.
yeah,
Sorry, bro.
no,
Keep
no,
going.
it's
I'm
okay,
sorry.
it's okay. No, I was just going to say that, what you said also regarding the diaspora, besides the anti-black teaching, anti-African teaching, the convicted rapists being welcome, the convicted child molesters defenders being welcome. We have xenophobia as well. They talk Mama Africa when it suits them, but then they spit on it, and even some African Americans who have passed, who contributed a great deal to the struggle of black people, and they brush years of struggle just like that, and they are part of an organization where you have mentions of children being physically abused and also sexually abused. The nerves. But like I've been saying a lot of time, you have many individuals who know the quote unquote struggle only through the internet. It
Hmm.
is a tool. Oh, the chat is supposed. Well, it's okay. Well, I thought it was. Normally, I make it for subscribers only, but here apparently, I don't know, something was lost in translation. So, well, take advantage. Take advantage. Now, what was I? Yes, a lot of people just know the struggle and participate in what they believe is a struggle strictly online. You see, but some of us, we have joined some organizations. We have spoken to people in the street. I just want to give
Hmm.
that simple example. Just go to the street and talk to the people and tell them that you're non-Abrahamic, that you are dealing with Kemet and Ma'at, and see the response. A lot of people like to remain in their comfort zone, you see. But it is cool to share the information online. A lot of people do that. But what about your personal life? What about your personal time? Because a lot of people are just putting up a front. And then you have some who are very confused about Pan Africanism. They actually make up the guidelines of Pan Africanism. So I've heard people saying, okay, oh, the Hebrew Israelites are not Pan Africans, the Black Muslims are not Pan Africans, the Black Christians are not Pan Africans. Says who? Now, I've been asking for names of Pan African organizations. I heard maybe a couple. And indeed, we have those people teaching this anti black. stuff, people, convicted rapists who have a voice in different platforms, we don't even hear the elders, you know.
Right.
So it looks like there's a need for renewal, because I hear sometimes people say, well, Malcolm X said, Kari Abdul Muhammad said, and so on. But you can either join the organization that they created or that they were a part of, or what's the point in saying their name as if you followed them when they would have never accepted what is being accepted now by the conscious community? Can you picture Khalid Abdul Muhammad, giving a platform to a convicted rapist? Or Malcolm X giving a platform to inviting a convicted rapist to speak at one of his events? But I'm going to let
Right.
you out on the minute.
I mean, it's going to be a long night, bro, because there's so many, there's so much hypocrisy in it. I mean, can you imagine Khalid Muhammad being on, you know, being on, what's that app that these people are using now that you've been going through?
Clubhouse.
Right. Can you imagine Khalid Muhammad being on Clubhouse talking to Whack 100, selling out the person he called his own brother, and having Whack 100 embarrass Khalid Muhammad, break him to his knees, and have Khalid Muhammad be like, oh, oh, but please, Whack, please, Whack, can I get an interview, Whack? I mean, can you imagine that? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. So Sonetta,
Sounds like
you ain't
sounds like cloud
nowhere
chasing to me.
near. You learn nothing from Khalid Muhammad. You learn nothing. And whatever you learned, you sold out. Whatever you learned, you sold out, man. That's what that is. The word brother doesn't mean nothing to you. Now you drag along this Hebrew Israelite and call him brother, and then you go over to Whack, and your brother is playing you, and then you playing your brother, and you both doing it for Whack 100. I mean, hey, what's up? What's up with that?
Cloud
Where
chasing.
does that fit in any of that doctrine? Where does that fit in? It fits in no one's doctrine. It fits in no one's doctrine, and it don't even fit in Whack 100's doctrine. You can't find a human rights advocate that it fits in their doctrine. You can't find a freedom fighter, revolutionary's doctrine that fits in, and you can't find a gang person's doctrine that fit in. You can't even find the LGBT falling for that doctrine. That none of them can do it, but that's you, brother. You would be considered a sellout by every group of people when you do that kind of stuff. And that's the reality of it. Sadly enough, that's what we're seeing. And you know what? I'm just like, wow. I mean, you know, there was a time to learn 7 years ago when they had 10 years ago, something like that. Remember when all the big fallout happened with SETI and all these guys over similar things, money, contract, all of this stuff. And also some of the just snakiness of it all, right? I mean, the one thing I could say is that some people know how to turn their backs on you when you do that. But sadly enough, a lot of people, they just needed some more years to learn that lesson. And now we come into the cycle, full circle again. Who gonna learn that lesson? I'm just gonna put it to you like this. I don't expect every person my age or your age, Shaka. I'm 10 years older than you. I don't expect everyone our age or even 30 years old to even get it. Why? Because they say it's easier to teach a young person than it is to change an old person. And I think some of us are just too stuck in our ways. We never changed. We never grew in the last 10 years, and we just stayed the same. And then I would say if that's the case, you stuck. You stuck, you know? But I don't want to stop you, Shaka. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, no, it's all good. We had time. We had time. Now, if I would have played the intro, the intro will still be going on. It's about 25 minutes or so. Now,
Right.
you know, they got acquainted with WAC 100 for I don't know about a month or so, but it's not like 6 months ago, well, at least from what we've heard publicly. Now, can you imagine how many other people so and so would have, just throws, betrayed, because like you get to know a guy and you just tell the guy, oh, that guy, who's publicly a brother, oh, we hate them.
How many minutes that take? How many minutes that take? What kind of relationships are these people developing? If I meet a person that I'm just meeting, and this person is doing something, I know that this person is, for one thing they're trying to figure out is, what type of person am I? That's the first thing they're trying to figure out before they say, I even want to work with you. They need some qualifications. They don't just need your pedigree. They also need some qualification of, what type of individual am I dealing with personally? What can I expect from this person? And the first thing you do is throw the person you call brother under the rug. How many minutes did that take? That's a very bad sign. That's a horrible sign. That means, who else would you not just instantly throw under the rug for anything? And who
Yeah.
and who else do you got to meet? What's the next person you're going to meet that you're going to throw all kinds of people under the rug for too? That's a sign of some serious desperation. And I don't know what creates that desperation, but it's no need for it. It's no need for it at all. Definitely no need for it. You know, that kind of desperation is going to destroy you. And it is. It's destroying them.
And I was expecting that, but the title is "Are You Against Child Molesters?" Of why people would not want to come and say that they are against it. You know, it might be a family member, it might be a childhood friend, it might be um, a fellow organization, a fellow member of an organization. But it's just sad, man. At the same time, somebody does something to children, you they mess with you. Children, they mess with, girls. But here we have them, we see them clapping. Some people say, show the paperwork. We've seen the paperwork. There are probably a lot of people who committed this child molestation, and those people know about it. It is not necessarily known publicly, but since when it is known publicly, they are cool with those people. And for all those people for which we don't really know about, there's going to be all good as well. In like probably like a couple of weeks, we have so many reports, so many instances. Even that clip where the guy says that he supposed his convicted child molester brother, he mentions that there were two cases. With the other guy who's a convicted rapist, or he's saying there were so many charges, and there were two instances. One instance is for which he went to jail for, and then there was another arrest or something. It's not really clear. But I'm like, it's not. I stand on principle. That's what I'm gonna say. I stand on principle. And there's a movie, South Central, and there's a quote that says, don't try to suck your way back in once the area and punk you in the AWS. Because people are cool, they are comfortable, they don't mind, they don't care. They talk about righteousness, but people messing with babies is some of the lowest thing ever. There's no justification for that. And even when we have some elder sisters who speak out against child molestation, I'm sorry, child molestation, and next thing you know, you see them inviting rapists, people who have raped children, underage children. It's beyond me, but I'm like, to each his own. People don't have to agree with me. People don't have to follow what I say. But I would like them, if they have the heart and the courage, to come and explain why they give a pass to such acts. And the funny thing is that the narrative is so that I'm a hater, I'm a cloud chaser, but the people who sexually abuse children, they are okay. Isn't that the world upside down?
Absolutely. It's the and you know, and the reality of it is that in in our community, right? And this is uh s- sexual violence, or what is it called? Sexual assault. I'm sorry. Sexual assault, which is violence, whatever you want to call it, right? I mean, this is one of the biggest problems globally, but also within the black community. It's one of the big, it is, that's the biggest, that might be the biggest actual form of violence thing ripping the community apart. Rape of our women by our people, and rape of our children by our people. This is not even with the so-called people, white man ain't got nothing to do with it. It's our people doing this. You see what I mean? And when we're talking about community, you cannot be about community at all if this is not your number one issue. You can't. In fact, if you're avoiding this issue, you're just basically saying, "Hey, rip through our community, destroy it, destroy all of our relationships with each other. Come in, rape our women so they hate our men, don't trust our men, rape our kids so they hate a black man, never trust a black man, which you're the one pushing them away to everybody else." That's the
Mm.
problem.
Even Mike
And
Tyson went through that. He didn't go into details, but he said he was, I forgot if he used the word abused or molested. But like you said, brother, if it's not appalling to them, really they shouldn't have any standing in the community. Can you imagine the women who were victim of rape? The people, the children were victim of rape, and they're looking at the so-called conscious community of Pan Africans who are embracing those child molesters. Can you imagine how they feel?
oh, they're disgusted. They may not even have the words to describe it, right? They may not have the words to vocally express what they feel, but it will bring about distrust, and they will look at anybody else as a positive. That's what it does. It pushes people away from you. I mean, come on, if I assaulted you, why would you want to come back for more? And if every time somebody like me is assaulting you, eventually you're going to hate your own kind.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we want to talk about we want to pretend, we some of us want to pretend like the LGBT community got something to do with this. Well, if you're a black man and you're not doing nothing about black men raping our women and raping our kids, what else do you expect them to do?
Well, there's many problems that we are facing, but people have an alternative sexual orientation are not necessarily hurting children. So we should have priorities. We have people who physically, sexually hurt children, and they have a religious justification for it. They have a divine justification for it. On the other hand, we have people who have a different gender or sexual orientation, which uh, we will not be able to change. But all topics are welcome. All topics are welcome. All the things that are viewed as problem for our community, it is good that we talk about it. But I can never, never accept people sweeping under the rug the fact that we have people who abuse children. and yet want to tell us about moral lessons. I mean, the cocktail that we have: anti-blackness, being anti-African, being pseudo with their teachings, disrespecting the people who passed away, like Martin Luther King, like Tupac Shakur, and then justifying or giving some religious justification, some green light, some okay as to why they mess with children. And you have some people who will tell you, yeah, yeah, we know many people, many of them do that. Many of them teach that. Oh man. Love me, Fro. It's been a long time. Amilcar wrote, good evening. What happened to Sekou? I've heard Saneta saying that he doesn't rock with you anymore. What happened to hear that? Because like I explained, I um I was about to share I was about to share one of the live stream, and I use my mobile phone, so I clicked by accident in one of the channel that I'm subscribed to, and I heard for a few seconds he said that. Now I just asked Seku. I replied to one of the comments he left on well, actually his latest comment. And I asked him, he said that, you don't mess with me anymore. Is there something that I need to hear or that I need to know? And then, he did not reply. It's all good. I mean, at the end of the day, people can go wherever they want and do whatever they want to do. But if there's an issue with me, then I would like to know. But the
Shaka,
brother,
the
yeah,
bottom
hold on.
line is,
I
oh,
just
okay.
want to please, yes, thank you. He's sharp. He's sharp. He has knowledge. His idea is that we uh get together for a common goal, for a common cause. Now, for Kwanzaa, you know, he wants to follow it, despite what Korenga may have done. Okay, but then is he going to say that his version of Pan Africanism includes rapists and child molesters? Adapt that. And sometimes people would rather say silent rather than addressing some issues that may be seen as controversial. So it's on him. It's up to him. I haven't heard him or seen him embracing, I'm sorry, child molesters and rapists, but we know very well which platform welcomes them. But go ahead, V. Bennett.
I mean, the reality of it is that, Sekou never came to you and said he had a problem with you. So you don't know. How would you know anything? All you keep hearing is Sinetta said this, Sinetta said that. Yeah, we know Sinetta say a whole lot, probably say a whole lot to a lot of different people. But if you're not man enough to find out yourself with the person yourself, then hey man, what else can you that if Sekou wants to know, um, if Sekou want to know if you said something about him or got a problem with him, or if he want to confront you, I mean, come on, man. It's not
I
you
know,
that's running
you know,
away from that. You
it's
wondering
not.
what this is about. You just trying to figure out what is this about. You never heard nothing about it, and all of a sudden
Mm,
people are telling you, "Sekou don't mess with you. Sekou don't mess with you." It's like, okay, wow.
mm. Well, it's not over something I would have said regarding Seku. But how some people do. They like to throw people's names. So he said, oh, Garfield won me and blah blah blah, as if Garfield is a reference. We have scamming, we have fake degrees,
Exactly.
fake millions of dollars. But that's how people are. They need people. And who knows? Maybe he said that because they had a conversation and it's true. And if it's the case, it is it is what it is. I say more power to Seku. I'm saying I
Well,
wish him
guess what?
well. Mm.
Sekou should probably hear Sonetta talking to Whack 100 to see how Whack 100 talks about his brothers behind. I mean, to see how Sonetta talks about his brothers behind their back to
You mean
people he
this?
You're
don't even
wrong.
know.
You don't know. You everybody on my circuit, they against the Israelites. We hate the Israelites. We can't stand their doctrine.
All right. Well, if you better hold that thought, please. Now, here, Jocelyn wrote, I still can't believe Bro Polite was involved with that 14-year-old girl. He's so much better than that. I think that was his wife's niece, right? Polite helped me tremendously. get out of religion too. Polite's case is due on May 1st. I mean, case, the trial, court date is due on May 1st. He is supposedly, or is supposed to be, innocent until proven guilty. On the other hand, we have some people who are convicted for rape and child molestation. Now, here, Neutral for Wellness wrote Tupac is a convicted sexual abuser, Shaka, for the record. Now, was Tupac convicted of rape or was it sexual assault? Please answer this question for me. Now we have good fella Nella in the place to be. The Amikal wrote that's true, Bennett. Sekou is sharp and intelligent, brother. I doubt it. Feel free to add on, brother V. Bennett.
Oh, well, I was gonna say about Sekou, man. I'm just like this, and it's not. I don't know Sekou personally. He seems to be a sharp brother. Um, and I've seen people straight up go at him. In fact, that's one of the things that inspired me, how they went after Sekou, how they tried to isolate Sekou because of his ethnicity. That's one of the things that inspired me as a black man from the USA to speak up in the first place. So all I could say to my brother Sekou is don't trust those people in those circles to tell you anything useful about Shaka and Dugu Komet. Go to Shaka and Dugu Komet yourself, talk to him like a man, and I'm sure he's going to embrace you. I mean, and Shaka won't be going behind somebody else's back. You won't be hearing from me, in other words, Victor Bennett. You won't be hearing from me, oh man, I heard Sekou don't mess with you, Shaka. you you won't be hearing that from me. You won't be hearing Sekou won't be hearing from me. Oh, Sekou, I heard Shaka don't mess with you, man. You won't be hearing that from me. I haven't heard nothing about it from Shaka. The only people we keep hearing about it from is people that keep going back to Sarnetta saying Sarnetta said this, Sarnetta said that. I mean, okay, Sarnetta said a lot of stuff to a lot of people. Always does. I mean, it's Sarnetta in the middle of his platform. If somebody's angry about getting paid from a debate, they ain't get paid, or somebody get cheated, they talking about Sarnetta. So I mean, I don't understand it. How many times do you have to see people complain about Sarnetta's own actions, own words, and you still think that his words are valid about somebody else? You got to qualify the things you hear. You can't just get the things from one source. You need to qualify them through multiple means before you know or can depend on something, or at least, at least feel strong in your opinion of it. You see what I mean? But when we're talking about, I heard Sarnetta, or I heard Sekou don't mess with Shaka, there's no qualification there at all. We ain't heard nothing from Sarnetta. Sarnetta never came out and said, hey, by the way, Shaka, Sekou don't mess with you, and this is why. Nah, ain't nobody saying that. It's just like we don't even know if it's just a ghost running around in the room. Okay, Sekou. As far as I know, Sekou loves and respects Shaka and Dugu Komet. And I have heard nothing from Sekou to suggest otherwise. As far as I know, Shaka and Dugu respects Sekou. And I have heard nothing otherwise.
And
Not from Shaka. So
we have we have Unc who was talking with Tony Atikeo, and he said that when Sarnetta addressed Polite and said, back to York, baby York, go back to your scamming life, Unc said that he lied. He said that he lied and that he has stated or admitted that he lied. And Unc said the reason why he lied is because he was angry at him over some money. So can you imagine? I'm angry at you, V Bennett, because we have a deal, business, some sort of transaction, and then I go, oh, baby York. Like, there's supposed to be levels to this, you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Let me just address this here. So Nutri for Wellness wrote he was convicted of sexual abuse That's what I said. It is true. That's what you said here. Here you said Tupac what is a convicted sexual abuser. Now, sexual abuse, if I believe if you touch a lady's buttocks, let's say in the street, uh, that could be charged as sexual abuse, right? Now, this lady did an interview and she confirmed that previously inside of a club she gave fellatio to Tupac. So they had some intimate relationship. So we are led to believe that she performed fellatio on Tupac Shakur inside of a nightclub, and later on she found herself in a room with him, and he rapes her, or he sexually abused her, and she doesn't want to get down with the program. What she stated in that interview is that some other people went in the room and did some things with her. I think I read that she was sodomized as well, but it's like I read that years ago, so don't quote me on that. She said that he was there, and he was like, "Oh, let it happen," pushing her head down. I don't know. Not many people believe her. Just like with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson went to jail for rape. Mike Tyson is been on so many TV stations, uh, so many online platform. So it looks like a lot of people just don't believe that. Now, if he has that on his record, yes. Was it children? No. You see. Now, it's delicate, because the lady that accused Mike Tyson, did it take place in a hotel or did it take place in a car? I don't recall. But if it's in a hotel,
You talking about his? You talking? I believe it was a hotel, man. I believe. If I
what I
remember
mean, I
correctly.
mean, what do you go see a man in a hotel for? To discuss business? And once again, I don't want my words to be taken, and used as if I'm being horrible and insensitive. But you go and meet a man in a hotel, like you're supposed to play cards or do some gymnastics or something like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. But what are we supposed to do then? Are we supposed to say, okay, we have those Hebrews were like guys who mess with children, but look, we have Tupac, who was a convicted sexual abuser, you know. So what's the conclusion then?
This
I'm
ain't
just
got
curious.
nothing to do with Tupac. Basically, Tupac is not on the HOK panels. Tupac is not a Black Hebrew Israelite. He's not in ISUPK. He doesn't run HOK channel, and He's not an affiliate of Sonetta. He's not even in the conversation. But personally, I don't cape for, in terms of a sexual assault. I don't cape for Mike Tyson or Tupac. Not because there's not things I don't like about them. It's just that, man, just to be honest with you, Shaka, we have, a lot of our community has been indoctrinated into these things through music, through things like that, and also our societies change, things develop. What was okay in 1970 ain't what it's not okay in 2000, and so there are some conflicts with that. But today we're talking about 2023, and we're talking about something. We're not talking about Mike Tyson. Really, this is not even a situation. Nobody's talking about somebody who's meeting a superstar millionaire in a hotel. No one's talking about someone meeting a rap idol in a hotel, a groupie meeting him in a. We're not talking about that. So, I mean, but me personally, I don't cape for it because I grew up in a community where calling a girl a B word wasn't such a big deal. So today we know it's a big deal. So we don't do it as men. Okay, when you're a kid, Tupac, how old was Tupac? How old was it? These are not even old. These people were they're just coming into manhood pretty much. You see what I mean? But I'm not making that an excuse. It is toxic. A lot of times we're toxic as young men, but we're supposed to grow up and grow out of it through listening because to the people that care about us. And the women are people that care about us. So when we listen to them, we hear how they feel, we hear their views, and we adjust to it. We change. And we say, hey, sister, thank you for helping me become better. Because obviously you ain't gonna go too far calling a woman a B word. You know, you're not gonna have a wife for too long calling her a B word and a hoe. You're not gonna have her so long being toxic. You see what I mean? You're not
Well,
gonna have
well,
a strong
V Bennett,
family that
sorry
way.
to cut you off, but um, we've had Hebrew Israelites calling sisters, the SLUT word, and on the excerpt that I've played about the sex husband, because basically, once they have sex with a girl, then that's it, she's considered the wife. So a lot of sisters say, "Oh, my husband, I'm his wife." That means they just had sex. But there was a mention that their leader doesn't like black women is to call the people stupid, and also there's mention of now maybe it is not in the excerpt that I played. I think it is, but maybe it is not. But I've shared the link so everybody can listen. Some of these women were called the B word and other derogatory terms by some Hebrew Israelites. Now here, Neutral for Wellness wrote, so you don't agree with the jury? Do you want to focus on Tupac all night? The question is, are you against child molesters? That's the main question, you see. But just like with Mike Tyson, I believe the event took place in a hotel, you know. So if you want to consider that he was guilty, that he did actually sexually abuse the girl, hey, it is what it is. But
Well,
what about
I'll
these
put it to you
conscious
like
people?
this.
Yes, go ahead, brother.
I'll put it to you like this. I mean, the jury spoke, right? So me as a black man, what I would be saying is that you know what? Don't stop and stop inviting groupies to my hotel. Stop trusting this situation. That's the adjustment I would make if I felt I was innocent. I wouldn't repeat it because um sure, there's plenty of people that that can say this situation happened to them, but how many times did it happen to Mike Tyson? How many times did it happen to Tupac? Did they adjust? You know, and I would say that they probably adjusted quick because otherwise you're gonna find yourself right back there in the slammer if you don't adjust. So make the adjustment regardless of what you feel. Even if you feel like you were justice was not served, make the adjustment anyway because that's a reality. But here when we're talking about ISUPK, when we're talking about Sonetta Studios and all of this stuff, how these people are engaging, that has nothing to do with it because they're not adjusting. They're not adjusting at all. They're continuing. So I mean, that excuse is not one for them. This is not the same. It's an unhealthy or it's an unuseful comparison. I would say. You know, that's what I think anyway. It's not about whether I trust the girl. I wasn't there. Okay, it's just that simple. I wasn't there. But here's the thing. I think Mike Tyson and Tupac adjusted pretty damn fast. You see what I mean? To make sure they don't get caught right back up in the same discussion or somebody in their camp don't come up in the same discussion again. But ISUPK, they're not making that adjustment. Son at a studio, you making any adjustments? I think that might be where the problem is.
Hmm. And uh, apparently at one point you used the word groupie, and for when it wrote now she a groupie. Well, I will believe that she was most likely a groupie. I mean, she gave him fellatio in the club. I never heard of them having basically dating. I never heard of her being his girlfriend or him being her boyfriend. You know. Now, Kobe Bryant, who has transited with his daughter, fortunately, because of this helicopter crash. Um, he was accused of rape. And what quote unquote saved him, if I'm not mistaken, that lady who I think worked in that hotel or that place where that alleged or that accusation took place, they found, if I'm not mistaken, they found some other person's semen inside of her, which means that she got really busy. If it wasn't the case, he probably would have went down for it, you know. And we can talk about these other cases, but V. Bennett, I think, made a good point in presuming that those guys did that, that they were really guilty of that. We have some organization that teach that it's okay to have sex with girls as long as they have their period, even if they're 9 years old. And we have people on record who said that they support individuals who are convicted for child molestation. We have a guy who was convicted for rape. And for both those guys, there were more than one case. Now, Justin wrote Hebrew Israelites almost. Oh no, hold on, I missed one. I missed one from what Vanku wrote. That's why I said, sorry, did Nepal actually steal Sanetta's debate money, or was Sanetta just pissed off that she had moved on? Sa has a habit of throwing the "you stole my money" on folks he falls out with, where he accused Polite of scamming him of more than $10,000. Then he said that he accepted $10,000 as a compensation, even though he will be given as a donation. He also said, and I heard him, I don't know if I have the archive somewhere, but I'm sure some other people heard it. He said Enki stole my laptop. He was talking about Minister Enki. But afterward, it was cool. Now, maybe they really did have situation and then they were cool, but then, hey, not only he said that Polite scammed him of more than $10,000, he made the insinuation about Polite, doing what Malachi York was incarcerated for. Justin wrote Hebrew Israelites, almost all of them. And by the way, I've shared the link to get on the panel, so feel free. I'll rather speak directly rather than reading all these comments, but I understand some people are shy. Hebrew Israelites, almost all of them are discussing and so indoctrinated. Well, I wouldn't say so. It's safe to say that there are some Hebrew Israelites who are not cool with having sex with minors or girls as young as 9 year old, as long as they have their period. Now, Nature for Wellness wrote, I am 1000% against molesters and abusers. Can I leave wrote, did you say what is a woman coming to a hotel for? So she doesn't have the right to say no, Shaka? She has the right to say no. She has the right to do the Macarena. She has the right to say, hey, I just came to your hotel room because I would like to sleep. I would like to sleep on the floor. I would like to sleep on the bed next to you. But then it's going to get very delicate and very sensitive. And I think it's going to come to the realm of feminism. Like you're a grown woman and you go in a hotel room of a grown man, and then you say the guy raped you.
And let's think about this. She's in a hotel with Tupac Shakur, who they don't have a deep relationship, deep knowledge of each other, deep friendship. I mean, why she trust him? Then she's in a room with another criminal, known criminal. Seriously, a serious criminal, a self-professed serious criminal. I mean, I think what that comment is leading to is what we're talking about is protecting women from being raped. That's the point of this discussion. Protecting women, speaking up about it. So if you want to protect women, the first thing you would say is that you don't deserve to be raped, but you need to know how to avoid it. It's called that talk. the same talk we give our young black kids about racism every day. They shouldn't deserve the racism. They don't deserve the racism. But if you don't have that talk with them, they might stumble into a life-changing situation. And you as a parent or a caring person having that talk with them might save their life, might save them from harm. That's what we're talking about here. So let's not flip it around or turn it around into something else. I mean, would you advise your daughter to do the same? Would you advise your daughter to go up to the superstar's hotel room at this time at night? And just trust. Would you advise her to, don't worry about who that is in that hotel room. They're just criminals. Just go up there and trust. You're going to be all right. You by yourself, girl. All those boys going to take care of you. No, that's not reality. Statistics speak to the difference. Statistics say the exact opposite. And that's all we're talking about. I mean, we just gotta say it how it is. There are predators out there in our community that take girls like that. They take them and harm them. So to keep yourself out of that, don't go by yourself. And also, don't go. Just you take caution. Take a lot more caution. That's what we're saying. We're not saying she's lying. We're not saying we know. We just, yeah. You brought it up though. I wouldn't make the comparison of Tupac or Mike Tyson to ISUPK or Sonetta in the first place, even in the topic. But I rest on that one.
Well, Baruti, welcome, brother. How are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, feel free to speak, brother.
Is it clear? Any feedback?
No feedback, brother.
Okay. How you doing, man? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I'm chilling, brother. We're talking about issues that are not necessarily talked about in this conscious community. I mean, I don't know if you had a chance to follow, but we do have a person who was convicted of rape and sexual assault on a minor, and he's on those conscious community platforms, like it's all good. And then we have another guy. Yes.
What's the name of the person?
Oh well, I'm gonna let somebody else say it so it doesn't come from me. Where is it?
Far too many.
There it is. There it is. Check this out, brother. We have those guys who've been convicted for sexual misconduct. Garfield Reed spoke about this. Yourself, you spoke about Nazi. And Garfield Reed said that Hebrew camps are sheltering Nazi. So, and it's sensitive because I know he's your friend, but Mighty Hebrew, several people have said that he was convicted for sexual misconduct, that he went to jail for that. He did. How are you gonna?
He did.
Well, oh well, okay, well, so you'll confirm it, So why?
Yeah, everybody know that he went to jail for that. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? So obviously,
but Hebrews cover up for Hebrews. That's what.
So did you hear the name, brother?
Yeah.
So there you have it. Sonetta said it, because if I say the name, they're gonna say, "Oh, that's gossiping. That's old news." For the record, Sonetta said it. Garfield Reed said it first.
Yeah, I heard when Garfield said it.
And Sonetta confirmed it. And the brother pulled up the actual rap sheet. I don't know if it was a few days ago, like 3 days or 4 days ago, and there was rape. It was. Oh, you saw it? Yeah. Okay, rape, statutory. Okay, so.
But I couldn't. Yeah. It was kind of blurry. I couldn't see the full thing.
But maybe try from a desktop. Try from a PC, because I've have a look again, and yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at my phone. So that's why.
Oh yeah, I think it was too small on the phone. Yeah. But feel free to speak, brother.
But Nazi, he's been off the scene for a long time. Actually saw him one time here in Atlanta. This was years ago when they had a debate with Dr. Mayat versus, I think it was Israel Doctrine. I don't remember how long ago that was. But yeah, that was the first time I think I had a conversation with a indoctrinated, man. It's crazy. But I heard Garfield mention him getting arrested or going to jail for rape or molesting. I heard that before. Plus, I heard your clip. I heard when he said it live, and I heard your clip.
Let me see if maybe you can. Let's see if you can. If it's clear enough or not. Maybe from your mobile phone it will be too small.
I'm still on my phone.
Yeah. What about here? Can you see the screen here?
Yeah, I'm still on my phone. Checking.
All right. Well, for the record, it does say rape, involuntary, deviate sexual intercourse. It says aggravated indecent assault. It says statutory rape. It says indecent assault. It says corrupting minor, and all of the dispositions are guilty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On all 6 counts or disposition, it says guilty. But feel free to add on. But feel free to.
I'll take your word for it, man.
No, don't, brother. Don't take my word for it. Check it whenever you can.
It's not hard to believe. It's not hard to believe, man.
I think it's not a matter of belief. I think it's a matter of fact. But feel free, brother.
You had a question?
No, I was saying I think it's not a matter of belief. I think it's a matter of fact. Because.
Yeah.
But feel free to add on, brother.
Yeah,
Good fella Nella is asking, that's Mighty Hebrew record? It is, yes, it is.
Yeah,
brother
what I
came
was
on the
asking,
panel and shared it.
what I was
Yes,
asking a little earlier is that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just going to share the link so people can have a look for themselves. It appears around timestamp minute 49. So, but feel free with your question. I'm just going to share the link in the chat so everybody know where to find it.
Yeah, what I was saying earlier is I haven't heard or seen him online, or I haven't, like, he pretty much disappeared.
Yes, he did. He did. And Saneda himself said that he ran. He left Atlanta. If I that's what he said. I mean, I might have it somewhere. But yeah, he was apparently working at a nightclub. He was doing security on a nightclub, but he left. And Garfield even said that the guy, he said nobody knows where he is. He's being sheltered by some Hebrew Israelite groups. You see. So if indeed he has committed a sexual act on a minor, then no wonder the guy's on the run.
But who is he running from, though? If he's already been, if he's already, so he hasn't already been to jail.
No, Nasi, we don't know if he's been to jail. I don't think he has been to jail. People said that he's on the run. The mighty guy.
Okay.
Yeah, the record that I showed is not Nasi. It's the so-called mighty guy.
Oh, okay. So Nasi. Oh, okay. So Nasi wasn't convicted. Is that what you're saying?
I don't think. I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, those guys, man. You have to press them for them to just say what's up. So they might say, I don't know. They might say, I heard about it. They don't really want to, But I haven't heard yet from anybody that he was convicted. What I heard is that he ran. He ran and he's been on the run. So I don't know if they caught up with him.
Okay. That was confusing. Okay.
Shaka, you got a picture of him?
Oh, everybody can just type the name, Mighty Hebrew, they will see him. He's been on his channels. Like you see here, Kinetic Energy wrote, Sister Freedom should come and explain. If people know her YouTube page that she advertised the last time, when she criticized child molesters, he's been on her platform. So I mean, nearly everybody on the culture community knows him because on Sinetta, for example, he's been there on a very regular basis. You know, and here T wrote, "Damn, is that why Mighty Hero is in Africa? Most likely, You know, there was
I think
yes. I just want to say this. There's a French Pan African, or French speaking Pan African. He assaulted a journalist that criticized him, not by himself, with several people, and he fled France and he ran to Africa because he fled the charges, and then they changed the narrative into he went back home, he went back to the motherland. Some people do some stuff, man. But feel free, feel free. Sorry to interrupt you.
You
I
you
was gonna.
mentioned the name. You mentioned the name of the French Pan African before.
I
What
don't think I did because I don't like mentioning his name, because um when you mention his name, his groupies act like, oh, you cannot leave without saying his name.
so
They've been having this narrative. Yes, but feel
so
free.
if I want to look him up, you're saying I can't look him up because you don't want to mention his name?
Well, I think that would be like advertisement for the guy.
Could you
He
type it?
was
Could you type it in the back chat or something?
in the back chat. Yeah, I don't mind in the back chat. But he was a member of the Nation of Islam. He started in the Nation of Islam. He got kicked out. He put out the false narrative that he left because he realized Islam wasn't for us. He used the Kemetic movement. That's what made him go up. He still bears a Kemetic name. Then he's been dissing Kemetic people for a long time. He told me on the phone that Sheikh Anta Diop was a gorilla. And once again, gorilla in French, it's not like gorilla. He's a gorilla. He's a beast. It's not that. It's like basically to say that he's higher than a typical ape or monkey. So he publicly supported Dianetics. He's been financed by Iran. I mean, the dude's just messy, but and one of his teacher or mentor, you know, uh, there's an issue with an 8-year-old girl, and it's somebody from his home country who spoke. I have the tape, and I showed it to some brothers not long ago on my live stream. We were in the museum. His name was brought up, and one sister, a Pan African sister, said he's a pedophile. He's a pedophile. The only thing that is a shame is that you don't really hear his name on the recording because somebody said who and she said the name. I know the name because I was told about it. We talked about that. So Pan Africans defending rapists and pedophiles is nothing new to me. I just didn't expect it, from such a large platform because those guys that I mentioned in France, they don't have a large platform. They're really struggling. They're really struggling. Then you have some so-called gangsters in France. I address them. They betrayed the black cause. They rolled with some neo-Nazis and skinheads for money, and some of them went to jail or well, they definitely got sentenced for rape, gang rape, that is. But I leave it there, man. I don't want to.
Hey Shaka,
Yeah,
check the
yes, brother.
chat. I sent something in the private chat. I'm just curious if this the same guy you're talking about, just to make sure.
But seeing the URL, I would say no, but let me have a look. Oh, the guy, yeah, I didn't know he had a website. Yeah, it's him. Yeah, it is him.
Yeah. This website is based and well, I ain't gonna say nothing. No, I ain't gonna say nothing. Just we just
I
keep
didn't
it
know he
right
had a
there.
website, but the guy we've
Yeah.
been talking about, who went to prison for child molestation and who's a regular on the House of Rapists and Child Molesters. He has actually a website, so hey,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that website, it got a location too, and I heard somebody say someplace else that's not this place, but it's
I heard Ghana
similar.
as well. I could have sworn I heard Ghana, but maybe it's been
Yeah.
around. I don't know why, but
Yeah. But currently, I guess that's where he's. Who knows, man? Who knows? Somebody got to follow up. But the main point is, why would you interview a convicted child molester? Why
well,
would
it's
you
not just
interview him?
interviewing. It's not just interviewing. I mean, it's like regular conversations. But hey, he has a right to do whatever he wants. I guess it was a misunderstanding. And that's why I'm asking the question now. I want to know who's against child molesters or not. And obviously, he isn't against. You know,
Right.
Because
Exactly.
you know we have another guy once again, and people just have to look at my intro. I didn't play the intro today, but all my previous videos, we have the guy, another Hebrew Israelite from my SUPK, who stated publicly on his own platform when he was asked, you know, if he supports one of his fellow brother who was convicted for molesting a child. He replied yes, and he explained why. He went on to talk about the hymen. First, he talked about the guy did a lie detector test and he passed. Like, oh, all right, okay. Then he said the hymen, you know, they check the hymen as if, you know, when a girl is sexually abused or sexually molested, the hymen had to be, you know, broken or damaged. There's so many ways you can sexually abuse somebody, you know. But you know, the guy was found guilty. Was you know, in the court of law, there was a guilty verdict. You know, and Quinat fence riding punk, he said live on air, and I'm gonna play it for those who think that I'm hating. Let's play Quinat, who later on went and kicking with the same other dude.
I'm gonna tell you why, because I'm an Israelite and Tazariak Israelite, and I think his doctrine is off compared to what we teach. We both had the same mission, but he's telling the Israelites it's okay to mix race, right? He's telling that they got a doctrine saying that if a child reached a flower, they could be 15 or 9 years old. You can have sex with them. This is
Okay,
what they
now
teach.
you talk about running.
So he said that's what they teach. Just like the author of the book Why I Left the Hebrews Were Light, Hannah D. Spive, she said that this is what they teach, but she said that they hide it. You know what I'm saying? So those are statements that are made publicly, you know. And that lady, that author, she was a member of ISUPK. So if they teach that you can have sex with a girl as long as she has a period, then whether the girl is 9 or 15, like he said, if the girl is 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 or 13 or 14, then it's going to be statutory rape at least. Then no wonder so many of them have this kind of legal trouble. But yes, feel free, brother.
Yeah, question. Does the ISUPK state, do they state publicly that they teach that?
Can you come again, please?
Does ISUPK state publicly that they teach that? I know GMS teaches that.
Oh, publicly, I haven't heard that. No, the sister, the author, Hannah D. Spivey or Spivey, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, how her last name is pronounced. She said that they hide it, and you know, I guess they are smart, you know, because it's not a good look to come publicly and say, yeah, that's how we get down. But you know,
But you know what? Oh,
hold on,
sorry.
let me say this, please. This is an interpretation of, I think it's 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, verse 36. But I've shown it yesterday. But go ahead, V. Bennett.
Well, I was going to say there's loads of things that ISUPK does not teach publicly that they do privately. And they make a serious effort to separate the two. It's not just this thing, right? So, and actually, I believe, Shaka, you got a tape where one of the sisters, is she describing the ISUPK member wife? Where is that? Don't you have that clip? Is that what they referencing?
The sex husband?
Right.
Yeah, I've uploaded it earlier today, but I'm going to share it for
And
those who miss
that's
it. But basically, they just
yeah.
have sex, and that's it. That's a wife. That's what. And this
Well,
is a lady.
they teach that publicly. I heard them say that before, multiple times.
Oh, what did they teach publicly?
The sex husband thing. I heard Tazariak say it many times. If you have sex with someone, that's your wife.
Well, no, I hear what you're saying, but it's slightly it's some other elements to it also. But Shaka, play that clip. It's terrible, man.
Well, I don't know. How long is it? Let me see. How long is it? It is, please. Oh, hold on. When I played it.
See, my thing is.
Well, I prefer to share the link, V. Bennett. I'm going to share the link. So
Okay.
Okay. See, my thing is, ISUPK says so many crazy things publicly. You know what I mean? They already say so many things that's reprehensible publicly. So I'm curious, why would they have reprehensible things privately? You catch what I'm saying? They already say some crazy stuff.
listen to the link. Listen to the sister describe her experience. You know, then you'll get it. You'll get it. But I feel you though. It's like they do teach a lot of the reprehensible things publicly too, of course. And the wife thing they teach, but not quite in the detail the sister's speaking of. You see, she brings graphic detail to what that means. Because if you just say, "Hey, I can have a couple of different wives," that don't sound that bad, right? Well, she describes what that really is in real
And here,
terms, and it's very graphic.
here I would like to say, Goodfella Nella wrote, Shaka Ashok is more Kemetic than Pan African. I don't own a copyright on Kemet, but I don't see how it is a Kemetic channel or platform, because remember that this is what that guy said, the elder Reggie.
I don't believe in old Egyptian gods. I don't believe in that stuff. I wasn't even taught that bullshit, right? I'm the one who bangs against the Kemetics. I bang against them and they can't get through me because the gods that they worship, right, were born from another group of thinking, right? So you can't come with me with no goddamn Heru or no other that bullshit. Show it to me in the primary, show it to me in writing, show it to me in the period. You're making the bullshit up.
And the funny thing is that, you know, we have the main channel where everything happens, and then we have another channel called House of Consciousness. Reggie, he's the one that manages the platform or YouTube channel called House of Consciousness. So that doesn't sound Kemetic to me. But here's something of interest to me here. Now, what Funk is saying, hang on, doesn't Quanat and Naphtali attend the Mighty Hebrew University? That would be so funny, because Quanat, for those who don't know, he came on my platform and he talked about those videos that he has, he and his FO, whatever stuff people, going against predators, you know. So I don't know. This is a question at this point, but it will be quite ironic if he is doing anything at all with that Hebrew University, knowing that the guy was convicted for sexual for child molestation, for rape. He was found guilty of rape, you know. But that wouldn't surprise me, because once again, we heard what he said about ISUPK's teaching, but then he came on the platform when Sanada betrayed Kemet, and Sanada when Sanada seek revenge against me using an event, a pre-debate event, just because somebody else said something he didn't like. Or maybe he didn't like me addressing what he stated publicly about Nepal. He's the one who wrote publicly that she ran over the money. Maybe he has a change of heart and it's a bit inconvenient to him, but that's up to him. It's his responsibility. He made that statement publicly. But to make the long story short, Conrad fence riding, but he came on the panel kicking with the captain of the ISUPK. So it just doesn't make sense. I mean, those guys just weird, man. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you know, he did say that they believe that the earth is 6,000 years old. I told him that it sounds pseudo, but I prefer some pseudo people who are against child molesters. But then again, you know, when you kick in with dudes, then it doesn't sound like you're against them. So maybe somebody will, you know, find out more about whether or not Konat has anything to do with that so-called Hebrew University and that guy who was convicted for child molestation. That would be interesting. But feel free to add on, brothers.
I don't want to change the topic, but I was confused about that. That video you made about Nepal going off with the money. Like,
I'm sorry. Can you come again, please?
Yeah, I said I don't want to change the topic, but I was confused. Why did you make that video about Nepal going off with the money? Even though you said Sarnetta made a public, put it in the chat, put it in a chat on I can't remember the guy's channel.
Okay, well, I can answer you now. Yeah, he did put it in the chat of Killer Priest during the live stream. I made a video because I was very surprised at such an accusation of her stealing money, because people who abuse children sexually, they get a pass, they're invited on panel. So stealing money is nothing in this conscious community, you know, it's a way of life. And also, that is because she was talking about human rights violation in Kemet. And what is the other term that she used?
Oh, okay.
There's another term she used. It's like mistreatment, but it's a stronger word. But she did mention the human rights violation of the Hyksos, the invaders. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, you want to give moral lessons about some fictional tales and putting that on the people of Kemet? But yeah, you're running off with money, or you're accused of running off with money. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I did it. I don't know why I wouldn't do it. I mean, people disrespect me just because I'm against child molesters. You know what I'm saying?
And here's the thing. Here's the other thing about it. It's like that. It's not just this. We're not just discussing the you know, the thing about how women are treated by these organizations or persons or children, how they're treated, right? It's also a thing about the scamming, right? And if you look, this has been a long-standing issue with these debates. Somehow, every time there's a debate, there's some kind of issue about money. I mean, maybe not every single time, but over the years, you will find a pattern there, right? And the question is, if you have a problem collecting money for a debate and simply paying the people and have the operation go smoothly, then why don't you adjust so it doesn't happen again? But what you find in this group is that it just keep happening over and over, and there's almost no understanding of how, what, when, what is it going to be next? The dog ate the money? I mean, what can it be? You know, how complex can it be? Everybody else find a way to run their business so much more smoothly. And when you get a reputation for scamming and giving a platform to scammers, it's obvious why Shaka would do the video. I'm still wondering, did Jabari ever get paid? Did he? I mean, when you throw that out there in the community and say Nepal ran off with the money, and you tell the whole community that, shouldn't you follow up by telling the whole community Jabari got paid?
And I mean, actually, I'm glad you said that, because for those who don't know, Ankh himself, he didn't say that it's a platform for scammers, but he used the term charlatan. And charlatan and scammer, they could be considered synonymous. But for the record, for those who haven't heard what Ankh himself said, and Ankh manages another Upsider's channel, I think it's a university. This is what he said.
I want your audience to hear that there's something called scientific literacy that will protect the Black women from the charlatans, okay, that get them. Y'all think y'all talked about it on the last broadcast. Y'all kind of talked about how women support these men. Well, they only
the same charlatans
men
that you roll with, those charlatans, you're coming on my platform to tell women that they can be protected from the same charlatans you roll with.
No, Shawnette is not a charlatan. He's a charlatan promoter. And everybody know I've told him that to his face.
I'm sorry.
So for those who missed it, you know, you can go back. He says Shawnette is a charlatan promoter. And he says, everybody knows I told him that to his face. So, you know, it's not me who said it, you know what I'm saying? But they're going to get mad at me. They're going to say it's gossip, you know, they're going to say it's old news.
They always blame it on the next one next to them. That's the pattern. It's always, you know, it's never any responsibility by anybody ever taken. Never any, you know, and this is the thing about it. It's like, another thing I wanted to say is this: there's elements of danger that our community needs to know about, because as you can see, if somebody can just go to Africa and start spreading the news there, right? Or go to the UK and spread the news there, right? We have to think bigger than it's just one community. No, it affects, it's global. It's definitely in the Western world, but also in Africa. You see, we get around. Here's the thing. ISUPK and another group, right? They're actually on that FBI's watch list as hate group. So this is the thing about it, we got to start putting two and two together. When you put people's testimonies together, members' testimonies together, and they describe their existence in such a horrific way. A Black woman can do that, describe her existence, and say it's many others going through this. And then you point to the FBI watch list, FBI, and they say, yeah, the FBI calls them a hate group, right? And then you see Sarnetta on the panel. They're on the panels with Sarnetta, representatives from that group, and then their friend, they've been paying money, to support. And then the woman says that, oh yeah, she pays tithes. You see, you got to start putting all this together and say, hey, they're a danger to the community. Now, here's the thing about it. If you as a community member don't see it as a danger and don't call it out as a danger, that makes it so much harder for anything to be done about it, no matter who wants to do something about it. You see, and that's where we're sitting with this kind of stuff in our community. We're being afraid to call things out for what they are. You see what I mean? It doesn't work that way. If we want our community to be right and we want our people to be right, we got to call wrong out, especially cancerous wrongs. Everybody makes mistakes, but God dang, these are not. This is orchestrated. This is orchestrated.
Oops, the child was molested by mistake.
Yeah, my mistake. Oops again. Sorry, I did it again. My friend did this time.
Hey, I'm unlucky.
I mean, you're very unlucky. Hey, I'm Black. Don't you know they coming after us? I'm Black. They coming after us. They coming after us because we Black. It's like, come on. We got to get past all of that, man. Oh my goodness. All right.
There's so many people around R. Kelly, but now nobody wants to be near R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Even if he gets out, some people say his case or his charges will be dropped. You know what I'm saying? It's not fly. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we have Nikki Willie in a place to be. Well,
it hurts us more than anybody else. This is hurting us more than anybody else. It hurts our community. It hurts our working relationships. It hurts our families. It stops us from trusting each. Don't you know? I mean, and people know this. The victims have to live with this stuff the rest of their life. Who's going to pay for their counseling? Even if they get counseling, who's going to say they're going to come back and ever be totally free of that nightmare? You see what I mean? And we're not just talking about sexual assault. This woman that was in that was it ISUPK? She one of the wives, right? Shaka?
Yes, ISUPK. Yes.
Yeah. She is describing psychological violence on a normal scale towards all women. You see, this is not a joke.
And physical abuse against a child. This is the link here. Sex husband is basically the last stream that I did earlier today, so it's not difficult to find on my channel.
I think people need to start looking at this as more akin to sex trafficking or human trafficking in terms of the abuses that are going on, the psychological abuse that's going on, the physical abuses going on. You see, and I think that it's more akin to that. And but again, if we're not going to be serious about this, don't cry about your tax dollars not coming to rescue you. Don't cry about somebody else coming into your community hurting you. You don't do that, because these people are right in plain sight, telling you they're going to take your kid. That, hey, Jesus, the Bible said I can do this when she's 9 years old, when she first has her tree. That's what it says, right? I mean, what's up with that? It's right in our faces.
Hold on, please. Hold that thought. David wrote, it's a human Woman Hater Club. Are you talking about ICPK or are you talking about us? I think he's talking about ICPK. But feel free to continue, VBN. Sorry about this.
Yeah, but that's the concern though, right? That's the concern. I mean, and yeah, you know, I just think that it there's another element, and people discussed this before. Not everybody's so aware. Not everybody is so aware, and not everybody is so bright, right? You know, intelligence, it has levels to it, you know. And when you're dealing with young people, again, a young man's mind, they say biologically the brain doesn't fully develop until you're like 27 roughly, right? So you got to understand, when you're a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, or I don't know how, or even born into this stuff, right? Or your mother brings you into this stuff, or your father brings you into this group, right? Don't you understand that these people are also being psychologically abused, right? How do you escape it? So we have to just put up a siren and just say danger, 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 because more people get pulled. They're out there preaching on the corner to get more people to come inside to do this harm too. You know, they're not sitting on their butts saying, yeah, we've done enough. Yeah, we're living it. No, they're actively looking for any other person to drag into this stuff. You see what I mean? And that's scary. That is really scary. That's so scary to have that. A lot of communities would have at least said, yeah, that most communities don't go that far. They're not going to let you just be out there. But then again, we do have some. The KKK are out there doing it. I mean, is there similarities? You know, are there similarities? KKK preach hate, but then you probably get a lot of rape and psychological abuse from people, from members up in there too. Little
Well, I
secrets
haven't heard
going
that
on.
though. I'm not
But
saying
you
it
probably,
doesn't exist, but I
yeah.
haven't heard that. But I haven't heard them teaching that they celebrate the death of Africans though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they don't even go that far. Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, it just it's so there's
I
so
mean,
many levels to what's wrong
they
with this group.
they might want you out of America. They might want you dead, but I never heard them say if once you're dead, he's going to celebrate it. You know what I'm saying? But
You know, it's like I mean, they they the cake, the boss, it's on one of these FBI records where they interviewed one of the leaders of the KKK, one of the bigger KKK leaders, and they asked this person about Black Hebrew Israelites, right? And they're not talking about all groups, but there's a certain type that they're talking about. And he said, yeah, they are the Black version of the KKK. But what he meant is that they're the Black people that are doing our job for us. He didn't mean they're out there killing the white people. He didn't mean they're out there doing, no, he meant they're doing the job for us against the Black people. That's what he meant. It's, you know, people got to wake up. But what I'm saying is that, Sarnetta, you want to have these people on your channel. Why don't you talk about the FBI then? Why don't you talk about them being mentioned as a hate group? Why don't you inform the people? I mean, you know, that's the thing about it. Why don't you actually inform your people? Do a halfway. I mean, you could do far more or less. You could do far. You could still be as kooky and scamming as you want, and just give them a little bit more of the truth, right? Of the information. And that's the truth. Anybody can Google it, anybody can look it up. You see? But for somehow that never gets brought up. You know, I don't get that. I don't get that. And that's danger, because the reality of it is that you're not in a position to fight nobody. The only position these people are in a position to hurt our people. That's it. And that's so sad.
and yeah, um, well, Wildfang wrote that SETI and a young man versus Amin Ra squad debate didn't happen. Why? There was an issue over money again. The ethics are off. I found out a few days ago that it was Reggie who made the contract. The contract was messy, just like Reggie's methodology. So then it didn't happen. But here we have her, or I'm not sure how to pronounce it. He wrote, "How is the solution to call white authorities who abuse us more than we abuse ourselves? What are we going to do about it?" Now, authorities are that's authorities. Period. We have black policemen, black detectives, black judges. That Joe Brown is one of them, right? He spoke out against Karenga, for the record. Um, what are we going to do about it? Then at least we have to determine, okay, the people who rape children, underage girls, when they are adults, though, well, he might not have been an adult then, but we have rape amongst the charges for which he was found guilty. Um, so the people who rape underage people, underage girls, should we continue to have them on our platforms and invite them and be like, "Hey, brother, how you doing? What'd you come here to teach us about?" You know, that some people deal with certain issues a particular way. I'm not going to give any indication. It's up to how people feel. But I'm like, is it like, okay, what are we going to do? We're not going to call the authorities because they abuse us more than we abuse ourselves. Let's keep it real. There's a lot of things that we do to ourselves. The average black man is not being abused by the authorities. Now, we do have some police brutality. We do have the problem of people being in prison, some people staying in prison because they cannot pay bail, and the injustice in some cases, court of law. We do have cases where the same judge has given a way more harsher sentence to a black man than a white man who committed the same crime or offense. It's a reality. We're not going to deny it. But what is the narrative here? All the authorities, they abuse us more anyway. So what are we going to do? We're talking about people who are guilty of molesting children, you know? So while we ask what are we going to do about it, first of all, are we against child molesters? And if we are, how is it okay to invite child molesters on our platforms? One from Rossetti, and no, I read that already. One view wrote, the New York House of Rapists does not represent Black America. What beliefs of higher learning does the community get in the House of Rapist teaching? Well, there's some information. We ain't gone from. There's some information mixed with a lot of falsehood, mixed with people who molest children. But we may say it does not represent Black America, but it represents a fair bit of people. It's a reality. It's a reality. Even though I never thought about it until it was brought up. But, the brother Ching Ching said that the numbers are inflated because of bots, because we have 181,000 subscribers. And if you look at the live streams, there's usually like at most 1,000 people watching, maybe up to 1,500. I don't think we have 2,000 people watching at the same time. So basically, it's like what is it, like 1% of the people who watch? You have 181,000, and that's only 1,000 people watching during the live stream. 180,000 just not there.
Exactly.
But it does represent a fair bit of people. Yes, it's a reality. It is a large platform. It is an influential platform. It is a reality indeed, and they are
But here's
free to do. Yes, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
but the main thing that bro, hey Root, the main thing I would say is that what about the people that supported the platform and their obligation to speak out against it? Shaka is doing that. Don't you have a conscience? I have a conscience too. I supported it by watching it myself. I have a conscience. When I see that there's something sinister going on, I must speak out against it because I have a conscience, because I know I played a role. You see what I mean? That's the first
And
thing
and
we got to do.
and for the record, some people may say, "Well, but you've been on there." The first time that I was a guest on that platform, you can see that I tried to talk about it. I was stopped, so I was like, "Okay," but you can hear This is the proof. You know, the brother Mighty Hebrew, if I'm not mistaken, Garfield said that he was there was some sexual misconduct.
Nah, we don't want to talk about that. We don't
Yeah,
want to
okay,
talk
okay,
about that.
okay, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying what was
Right,
stated
right.
publicly. Garfield
Right,
said
right.
that publicly, you know. And that was like I don't know, 4 to 5 months ago, maybe 6 months ago, you know. So just for the record, you know, I wanted to address that issue, but you know, I was told, okay, he said you don't want to talk about that. You want to, okay, but that's a proof there. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Garfield Reed. Garfield Reed, you know, is the one who put us up on game. You know, and for those who don't know, that's how it started. Let's hear it. Hold on. It's about 1 minute, 1 minute, yeah, 50 seconds long.
Since I've been a part of this conscious community, sexual misconduct has been condemned and vilified almost unanimously. We saw the rise and fall of Dr. York. We had Hebrew Israelite, the brother by the name of Mighty Hebrew. He was convicted, I think, twice for sexual behavior against minors. He was widely condemned by the Hebrew Israelite community, but apparently forgiven by the Israelites, because I see him all over the place right now on everybody's channel. Another brother by the name of Nazi Yashavel, another Israelite, also involved in sexual misconduct with a minor. We have no idea where this brother is, but he's been sheltered somewhere by an Israelite group.
Now, Bro wrote, Black people should have plans and policies for dealing with those who harm their communities themselves. Calling Whitey into our affairs is never a good idea. Now, I'm focusing, and we can talk about everything, but I'm focusing about child molesters, you know. So you can say people who harm their communities. In this case, we'll have to talk about people dealing drugs, you know, people, you know, having shootouts and broad daylight when it's public, you know, and people catching stray bullets, you know, people robbing, you know what I'm saying, and so many things. But here, I'm focused on the child molesters. Now, once again disagree saying calling whitey as if the law, the authority is only white people. Once again, we have white police officers. I'm sorry, black police officers. We have black detectives. We have black prosecutors. We have black judges. You know, so to make it a color issue when we're dealing with the law, I mean, I find it strange. You know, in the
Yeah.
meantime, before we come up with plans and policies, because if first of all, just make the proposition there, do the test, go on all those large platforms, and say, okay, we should have plans and policy for dealing with those who harm uh, our babies, our children, the child molesters. You will see they would take like 5 to 10 years to come up with some so-called plan of policies, which will never be practiced anyway. But in the meantime, before it takes 5 to 10 years for people to agree, okay, this is how we should deal with it, should we continue to embrace those people who were convicted for having sex with minors forcibly, basically raping minors, sexually abusing minors? Should we continue to embrace them and have them on our platforms? You know, now I would say Shaka, your channel has the ability to fill that space. It's no longer a conscious platform over there. It is a large platform. That platform will continue to strive. I think it would be better if they don't invite child molesters and rapists, but they have the right to do what they want. But my platform is not a large platform in the standards of, you know, the majority of channels. If we do an average, I would say my channel is not a large channel. I'm by myself. I don't have any moderators. I did have moderators at one point, but there's only so much I can do. I am non-Abrahamic, and non-Abrahamic people are a minority. So I'm trying to do what I can. I have some elders like Reggie banging against the Chemetics, who has never spoken out against child molesters. I never once heard Reggie criticizing the child molesters. You know, he's been having discussions with them. He was all good. But
I
it's
find
too
that
easy
very
hating.
strange too.
Yeah,
I
I
find
find
that
that very
strange.
strange too. Yeah, you know. So I mean, who knows? Maybe I mean, you know, I ain't gonna say nothing, but um, it shouldn't be just my channel where rapists and child molesters are not accepted. Why should it be just my channel? Like, okay, we're gonna have that channel there, and we're gonna invite people who celebrate the death of Africans, who said that MLK and shit. This is, I'm sorry for the profanity, but this is what the ISUPK members teach. And I heard that, apparently even Tupac wasn't shh until he came out of jail, and they support someone who was convicted in the court of law for for child molestation. And everybody, all those people are welcome, even those who teach that black people are marked and disfigured, and that our physical appearance is the essence of ugliness. But then when it's time to criticize the child molesters and the pedophiles, we're gonna go to Shaka's panel. I think it's strange. We have Chris in the place to be. Feel free to speak, brother.
Peace. Can you hear me, Shaka?
Loud and clear, brother.
Yeah. So when I was at work, man, I was watching I think a video you did maybe a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, man, we got to get rid of these people, man. It's not a joke. We got to protect the babies. And I find it odd anybody that would cover up, protect a child molester. And me personally, I couldn't even be friends with someone that's a child molester. It makes no sense. It's like if all your friends are crackheads, right? Somebody's gonna think you a crackhead too. You know what I mean? You are who you hang with. You are who you hang with, Shaka.
But brother Chris, are we still on for Saturday?
Oh yes, we're still on for Saturday.
Okay. For those who don't know, our brother Chris will talk about the demonic, and yes, the demonic, because we dealt with the hieratic, and it's going to be 10 p.m. EST this Saturday, 18. Now you see here we have bro who wrote, "Taking black judges don't make the colonizer system or his oppression or his possessions our own." And then he wrote, "There are child molesters." I would just want to finish that one, please. Hold on. There are child molesters and rapists in the police force, black and white. But here we're talking about people who have been convicted. Those that you're talking about, have they been convicted? Are they invited in the conscious community platform? We're talking about people who are convicted for rape, and another person was convicted for child molestation. And those guys are on some black conscious community platform. You see? That's the nuance, but feel free if you've been there. I think you wanted to add on.
Well, yeah. I was going to say, first of all, yes, it should be our communities that deal with this. The problem is our community refuses to. That's what you're bearing witness to. Our community, the one that we're talking about, is refusing to. Secondly, everybody in this community, I don't know about you, bruh who, I don't know about you, but are you paying taxes? Because if you're paying taxes, you're paying money for something, for a service. You need to demand that the service works. And when the service fails, you need to follow up and say, this service fails. This is how it fails. I need you to look into it and correct it. And this is what people are doing every day, man. It's not a perfect system, but you have to understand our community has abdicated responsibility because we're not doing nothing about it. Speaking is doing something about it. Confronting it, being honest is honest that it's existing is doing something about it. You can't tell people to then say, don't prosecute. What you gonna do about it, bro? Hey, you, bro, who? If some little girl, one of these people that's been hurt by that, what you gonna do for them? You gonna go handle it for them? Sure, you're gonna have a whole lot of people saying, yeah, you handle it for us. We got one. You gonna handle it, or you gonna say no? Because if you say no, then stop telling them don't call the police. You see what I mean? And then the other thing is that, Chris, like you mentioned a good point, but I will take it even further because this is how sickening it is. And I'm sure you know this because we all think it retrospectively also, right? But here's the thing, man. It's like if I have a platform that I'm inviting pedophiles on or I'm inviting child molesters on and someone else hears my voice, me, V. Bennett, and says, I like what V. Bennett is saying, but they don't realize that there's a molester next to me in the next image who's talking. I am introducing them to a molester that could hurt them. Therefore, if that molester moves on to hurt them, I am responsible also.
Yep.
That's
And the
called
thing too,
me taking responsibility, bro. That's
see,
not
and look,
calling
this
the
is what I'm
white man.
saying.
And you got to
Look,
get it straight, bro. Really, because this is
heck
some
yeah.
bonkers thinking you coming up with.
Can you guys hear me or not?
Oh, we hear you well,
Yeah,
Chris. Feel free.
yeah.
Feel free, brother.
Okay. So like, he got his daughter right there, right? I got 2 kids. I got a teenager and my son will be 4 years old. How can you have children like man, it's actually kind of scary and spooky, man. And these guys try to explain it away. They give each other excuses. Like like, oh, it's just business. No, man, I'm not doing business with no on that type of
You
mode.
you're in the matrix, brother. But now we hear you. So feel free to just backtrack like the last few seconds because we couldn't hear you.
Oh yeah. So what I'm saying is like, I'm pretty sure, like,
You're in the matrix again. You're in the matrix. Is it possible for you to
actually,
stop? Mm.
yeah, hold on. Yeah, give me like a couple seconds. I'm almost home.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
at a certain point where the service gets messed up. So, give me like 5
But now
minutes.
we hear
I'll be
you
right
though.
back on.
Now, yeah, okay. All
Oh,
right,
okay,
brother.
okay. So no, so what I'm saying is like we all have kids, right? So there's no way I could be around people that could do that. Cause like I've seen videos with Sonetter, he would have maybe like Shaka Amos, Polite, different people in his house, but his kids would be there too. Like it's weird to me. Like these people make no sense. And they make excuses for each other and try to be like, oh, it's just business.
Yeah, your Chris, your internet is messing up, Chris.
Yeah, you're in the matrix, Chris. You're in the
All
matrix.
right, like I said,
Yeah.
a couple minutes and I'll be on.
All right, brother.
But look, Shaka, bro, who he's continuing down this line of thought of I handle it myself. Anybody mess
Yeah,
with
and
my family, I handle it myself. But what
mhm.
about a person? What about a person who don't have nobody with them, who's being taken advantage of? What about that person? So you're saying you're not going to help the person with no family that's all by themselves? I don't think you really thought about who these people are going after and what a predator is. A predator is not stupid. They don't pick a person that they think is strong. They pick a person they think is weak and isolated to take advantage of. And you're sitting here saying, I handle it myself. Come on, man. You got to do more than, you got to do more, man. You can't look at it this way, bro. It's really, it's really disconcerting, actually, bro. Right? Anyway, man.
And I wanted to show that. At first, he wrote, it was this message that somebody was a convicted child molester. It was 18 messing with a 16-year-old, and here wrote white system isn't our way out. Now he keeps talking about white, and a lot of black black conscious community Pan Africans, they love to do that. You talk about something that's messed up in our community, and they're going to talk about white supremacy. But here he did write, hell no, he doesn't pay any taxes to white people. And then he wrote that he advocate revolt, no, not acquiescence. And then I was going to ask him, okay, if it happens to your child, how would you feel when you see those same guy who abuse some of your family members on some community platform? But then, indeed, like V. Bennett said, he wrote, and I'd handled any person harming any one of my loved ones myself. He put my in capital. And a lot of people do say that, okay, oh, if it was me, if it was my child, I'd do this. But what about when it's, your neighbor's child? What about, what about the other people's child? How would you feel? You'll handle it, okay. One of them is not in the United States of America. He's in another continent. How would you feel if you see the guy on the live stream invited teaching? How would you feel? You see?
And get on the panel. Bro. Who show your face?
Yeah, and
what are you really being real about this? Come on.
I don't know if he is. It doesn't look like he is, but we're still addressing the talking points. But Chris, we can hear you. We can see you well, so probably we can hear you well. Just give it a try, brother.
All right, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you so far. Yeah.
Yeah, so like what I was just getting at is that, like I said, a lot of these people have children. You know what I mean? Like, Child Protective Service needs to get involved. These kids need to be taken from these homes. That's one of my biggest things I do not play with is pedophilia or rapist or anything like that. And then I even heard I'm not sure who said it on your channel the other day, but they were even talking about how there was like a huge spike in rape and things like that in the black community. And it's insane. And
I
like
think it was P. Bennett.
we
Yeah,
need to
he
be
was saying, yeah. Feel free, brother Chris. Go ahead.
yeah, but we like I said, like if I knew someone was a pedophile or rapist or something, I'd end up going to jail. You know what I mean? Like we can't play with that. And no amount of money, no amount of YouTube likes or any social media thing, like we look crazy and we know better. We know we know better. We know better, man. And I'm proud of you, Shaka, yo, because you out here doing this. Everybody else is trying to just sweep it under the rug. It ain't even cool. And all these videos of these people talking about it, it's all out online. Like nobody's making this stuff up. And they all know about each other, but they're still cool with each other. And the Hebrew Israelites talking about when the kingdom of God come, we're gonna be raping little girls and getting them pregnant. Yo, that is insane, man. That's insane to me. Like, even that statement, they should all be locked up.
But who
Absolutely.
who are they
you know what?
dissing?
Oh, go ahead, Shaka. Sorry.
No, you go. No, I was just gonna say, who are they dissing? They're dissing Shaka Nugu Kemet. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? I'm
shame
gossiping.
on you, Shaka.
Yeah, shame on me.
you. You know,
but go ahead, Bennett.
shame on you, man. Don't shame. But here's the thing. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'm definitely the type that has no problem whatsoever hurting somebody that is a child molester or a rapist on the street. Period. You ain't gonna walk up to me and hurt a woman next to me. Period. You're not gonna do that. But here's the thing. I am also mindful that if I'm not cautious about what I'm doing, my ass might go to jail and be taken away from my kids. So we need to speak about this, and we need our community to talk about it and take it seriously. And we also need the goddamn police to do their job too. But they can't do their job if we don't speak up. Come on. These people, this dude is living in an unrealistic world. He talking about he don't pay taxes. Man, you don't pay taxes? Get up here. I mean, yo, listen, I don't even believe that, first of all. But here's the thing. I would like to see the person's face so they can tell me how they survive in this society without paying taxes, because that cuts you off from so much of the society. How you get around it yourself? And are you advocating more people get around this thing using that magical tool yourself? Come and speak to the people. Tell us how you can do that. Because where I'm from, you don't pay taxes. These days, man, you ain't even going to be able to keep a passport. So then you won't be able to travel. You don't pay taxes. How you going to get federal grants, any type of thing from the federal that you're owed that they send it out? You don't pay taxes. You ain't even get that COVID check. You don't pay taxes. You're not going to, bro, you're cutting yourself out from stuff that if people didn't have, they would be on the street right now, man. Get real. And I'm gonna say something else because I gotta cool down, because sometimes the silliness really it gets to me. But listen, that over on that channel, they don't know nothing about human rights, civil rights, nothing, let alone anything African, let alone anything black. They don't know those, they don't connect those pieces together. They're playing pimp. They're playing the pimp role. They're pimping people with this idea that they know something about it. They don't know nothing about it, because if they knew something about it, they would be doing something about the problems in their face. They would be talking about this issue if they did. You know, that's the thing about it. And people just got to wake up, and they don't know what's coming. They don't know what's coming. Shaka, don't underestimate yourself, bro. You know, when somebody say your platform can be something, man, there's ways. I know we looking at Sonetta. We know how much Sonetta get paid. He don't get paid shit. He's desperate. He's desperate. Your platform is rated damn near the same as his in terms of what you getting
of earnings. Yeah, I forgot the website. Hold on, let me just say the website if people want to have a look.
There's multiple websites you could check that out on.
Yeah, that one. What was it called? No, it's not that one. Hold on, I'm gonna tell people so they can have a look. Where is it? I don't see it here. Hold on. Well, if you type in on Google, I had a link, but if you type in your earnings, your YouTube channel earnings, then it will tell you. I just don't find it anymore. But here we do have bro who wrote, we apparently need to keep better track of our kids. Well, what about the child molesters? I mean, you sound so evasive. Now here we have Blizak who wrote, Shaka, are there any laws in the Bible against pedophilia? I don't know where he's going with that question.
Hey,
I don't follow the laws of the Bible, and we are not under the laws of the Bible. In France, in America, and in Africa, it's not the laws of the Bible that rule the land. So I don't know where you're getting at with that. But here, I want you to see that, brothers and sisters. We have G. Kai, who wrote, the title seems like he's okay. The title seems like it is directed at Sonetta, and Sa definitely doesn't support that stuff. Well,
that's a damn lie.
It is a lie. That statement is not accurate at all. Sonetta had Mighty Hebrew on a very regular basis, even though the guy, Sonetta said out of his own mouth, and I played it earlier. And for those who just arrived now, you want to hear it from the horse's mouth, then let's hear it from the horse's mouth. This is Sonetta himself. This is what he said about Mighty Hebrew. We have those guys who've been convicted for sexual misconduct. Garfield Reed spoke about this. Yourself, you spoke about Nazi. And Garfield Reed said that Hebrew camps are sheltering Nazi. So, and, it's sensitive because I know he's your friend, but, Mighty Hebrew, several people have said that he was convicted for sexual misconduct, that he went to jail for that. He did. Well, oh, well, okay, well, so you're confirming it, so why?
Yeah, everybody know that. He went to jail for that. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that, what I'm saying? So obviously.
But Hebrews cover up for Hebrews. That's
right. So you heard it for the record. And here we have another guy who will say that he, it looks like the sister, please use a webcam, sister. So that's a requirement to get on the panel. But I've seen you online before. Here we will have another guy who's a regular, and he's going to state that he supports someone who was convicted for child molestation.
Were you accused of molesting your wife's niece, who is your niece through marriage?
I have no recollection of that. You would have to inform me of what you're talking about. I have no recollection of that.
Okay, I will be able to one day. So I have my third question. Captain Cesario, do you have a homie that's in prison right now for child molestation that you support financially?
Yes.
But I thought you were against child molestation and those that are molesters to children.
I am against child molestation and those that molest children.
So why are you supporting this person, but you speak ill against others that have a love for people that have been just accused of child molestation?
Okay, I'll answer your question very easily. When I was at both cases of both trials, the evidence that they had, they gave the brother a lie detector test, which he passed. They tested the sister the young girl rather, whether her hymen was broke because he was accused of molesting her. Her hymen was not broke. A hymen, for those that don't know, a hymen is something that they use to test to see if the woman's or the child's virginity has been broken or anything like that. There was information that she said that she gave, which she then retracted. So the first case that they did was thrown out. The second case, they did not want to answer to. The jury was hung on it, and the judge did not want to release them until they came up with an answer, and then they came up with a guilty verdict. So from observing the case, if he was guilty of the crime, I would in no way support the brother. But from the evidence of the case, from the testimonies of him as well as the individuals involved, he was not guilty, even though he was found guilty.
Wow, so he was not guilty, even though he was found guilty, but you speak.
So you heard it for the record. You can hear the rest. It's only there's a few minutes, few seconds after that, and she's being kicked out of the panel. So the guy said of his own mouth that there was a guilty verdict. First, he talked about both cases. So there was two cases. One allegedly was thrown out, but there was a guilty verdict, and he was found guilty. But he says he was not guilty, even though he was found guilty. You see, so he supports somebody that was convicted of child molestation. So you have one guy who was convicted for rape, who went to jail for that. You have another guy who supports, and he said that publicly, a fellow ISUPK member who was convicted of child molestation. So I'm sorry, GK, but that statement is clearly inaccurate. Sister America, what is it? America Oppress. I don't have the full title. Please use a webcam. That is a requirement. I would love to hear you, sister. So feel free to add on, brothers. I don't hear anybody. I think maybe my daughter pressed a mute button on my end.
No, I think he's on mute.
Oh, okay.
He's on mute.
Okay. I can hear. Yeah. So if anybody want to add on, feel free.
Yeah,
I'm literally almost home, like 2 minutes. So I'm gonna jump on like as soon as I get in the house. But I'm gonna stay home though. But I'll talk when I get in the house.
Okay, brother. Well, Baruti, feel free.
Yeah, I was just catching back up. I had to go out and just got back in. So I only remember where I left off.
I was on mute. I
You're
was just
muted.
saying. I was reading the full username. I was telling her, feel free to use a webcam, sister. I would love to hear from you. Now I just want to go through the comments. We have. Oh, look, bro wrote, and I presume he's addressing me. He says, "You can live without whitey, bro." He keeps talking about white supremacy, white people, where we have clearly, two black person convicted of child molestation, but he doesn't want to condemn that. It's all good. We hear you. Good fella Nella wrote, should be a public lynching. Blizak wrote, the Bible is part of the problem. I don't think there are any laws in it against pedophilia. Well, I wouldn't say you can say it's part of the problem, but besides Hebrews Israelites, I don't hear many followers of the Bible justifying having sex with children just because in the Bible it states in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 36 that it's okay, and I'm not saying that's what is written in the Bible, it's okay, I'm paraphrasing, when the girl reaches the flower of her age. That's how they interpret that. It means that's once she has a period, and we heard the fence rider Konat speaking on that. We have the brother Blaya in a cell, in a place to be. And
I
here you see, hold on, please, Baruti. Just brothers and sisters, I'm sorry, Baruti, I'm gonna let you speak. Here you see, GK wrote, y'all always hating on the goat. You see, so I've played the evidence that we have some convicted child molesters who have a platform on that channel, but now I'm hating. Fine, I heard it for the record. But go ahead, Baruti, feel free.
No, I was saying I actually agree with that brother sister that said that the Bible is the problem. Yeah, it's the Bible is really the problem, man, because these Hebrew Israelites, they feel like they are the true keepers of the Bible. They are the people of the Bible. So all that stuff that was written, what, 2,500 years ago, they feel like that they have to follow it. It's crazy. That mindset, I don't get it,
But
man.
brother, let me ask you this. Captain Tazariak, right? Did you hear him speak to WAC 100 on that recording that Shaka has? Did you hear that recording yet? Would you say that his conversation with WAC 100 about Sarnetta, right, or how he dealt with Sarnetta, or any of that dialogue, do you think that was okay by the Bible?
What did you say about Sarnetta?
Yeah, Shaka, you want to play that? You want to play that part where WAC 100 is talking to first Sarnetta, and then he plays the separate tape where he's talking to Zariak, and they both are basically throwing each other under the bus for WAC 100.
Well, I have the part where
Where's that in the Bible?
stated that he hates the Hebrews, you know.
You're wrong. You don't know. Everybody on my circuit, they against the Israelites. We hate the Israelites. We can't stand their doctrine.
Now here, GK and maybe Saneda or him or bro under some other username or, but GK wrote, he clearly say here about the information. You see what's funny is at first GK wrote that Sa doesn't support that stuff. And then when we prove that this statement is clearly inaccurate, now after saying that we are hating on the goat, he says that he clearly say here about the information. And this is, you know, what the monkey moderators on this house of rapists say. Oh, we're about the information. We don't want to talk about that. That's gossiping. That's all news. And then he goes on. And this is another one. Bro is saying, not bro. GK is saying, all due respect, my however, why was you at Sarnetta Studios when you knew all this stuff? I didn't have that video of Tazariak admitting that he supports a convicted child molester. However, we have started talking about the molestation. I had made a video. Is these Hebrews were like in prison for rape? And that guy, King Ta, came in the comment and said, I'm right here, Lord, as if the title says I'm in prison. I'm not in prison. When we ask him, is it true? When I asked him, were you in prison for that? Is this what you teach? Here's the sister who said that this is what you guys teach. He did not reply. And people have wrote and have written that, hey, why don't you defend yourself? You know what I'm saying? And I brought it when I had a discussion with Tazariak. And Tazariak, this liar, said, oh, that's slander. But here for the record, GK, just listen to how I wanted to address the mighty Hebrew, you know, and how I was basically told, okay, we don't want to talk about that. You know, the brother mighty Hebrew, if I'm not mistaken, Garfield said that he was there was some sexual misconduct.
Nah, we don't want to talk about that.
But I'm just saying what was stated publicly. Garfield said that publicly, you know. So GK, with all due respect, go and speak to Sarnetta and ask him, are you against child molesters? Now, if the answer is yes, then ask him, why do you have a convicted child molester, a convicted rapist on the platform, and why do you have a guy who supports another person who was convicted for child molestation? You know. Now, if his answer is no, then we get the picture.
So are you saying that? Are you saying that Sarnetta supports child molestation because he has convicted child molesters on his platform? Is that what you're drawing?
Well, I wouldn't say he supports child molestation, but he definitely supports child molesters, doesn't he? If you have a convicted child molester on your platform, you call him brother, and you let him teach on your platform, isn't it a form of support?
Okay, let me ask you this question then.
Mm-hmm.
Do you watch Sarnetta's platform?
I used to. I stopped a while ago.
You stopped watching Sarnetta?
Yes, I stopped watching. Yes.
Okay, but you're still playing his clips, aren't you?
Yes, I am. because that's the evidence, that's the receipts. I mean, if I cannot play him, who else can I play? Because if I play somebody else, they're gonna say it's gossip. But when I play him, what is he gonna say? Is he gonna say it's gossip? When Tekashi 6ix9ine decided to snitch after he was kind of kidnapped or abducted, and they wanted to discipline him or maybe kill him. Apparently, they wanted to kidnap his mother, or they talked about kidnapping his mother. He had a live stream about that. That wasn't gossiping then. He had the live stream about Tariq Nasheed after the later slap to Akabe. It wasn't gossiping then. Those are talking points. But we have the sister, and we also have the elder James Power. So I would like to hear from the sister. Feel free to speak, sister, and then we can hear from the elder.
Can y'all hear me very good?
Very good. We
Yes,
can,
ma'am.
sister. Feel free.
All right. I saw the title and I was taken aback. And nobody sent me up here. Sinetta didn't send me up here to speak on his behalf. I came up here to speak on his behalf and tell you that Sinetta does not support child molesters. Okay. I know he does not support child molesters. Okay.
But you know, sister, what's interesting is
So
that
let me finish. Let me finish.
I will let you speak. I promise. What's funny is that everybody speaks for Sinetta, but Sinetta himself doesn't say for the record.
I got you. I gotta go anyway. I just wanted to say a few words. It's not. I wasn't gonna be that long. I get what you're saying, brother, but Sinetta does not support child molesters. Okay, that's all I really came up here. He didn't send me up here. I swear he didn't. Okay.
So why does he have Mighty Hebrew? Why does he have Mighty Hebrew on a regular basis?
I'm not one of his internet girlfriends or anything like that. So I just want to make that very clear.
So why does he have Mighty Hebrew on a regular basis, even though Mighty Hebrew was convicted for child molestation? Why does he have Mighty Hebrew on a regular basis, even though Mighty Hebrew went to jail for child molestation, for rape?
Okay, and I actually have a way to get in contact with Mighty Hebrew, so I'll call him. Because I don't know these people. Okay, but I will call Mighty Hebrew. Okay, I don't know these people. Okay, I just know Sinetta does not support child molesters. That's it.
I would love for him to state that for the record.
Yeah, I get you. I understand. I get you. And I'm gonna tell you, be careful because be careful because you got to be careful when you're putting out this type of information out here. But because if you really don't have concrete evidence, then I wouldn't say things if I did not have concrete evidence. Okay, and I'm just telling you, be careful because, honey, I got caught up in some mess. Okay, putting out information. Okay,
sister,
I really didn't know for certain.
Sister, please listen to this. Please, it's Sinetta speaking himself.
I got you.
We have those guys who've been convicted for sexual misconduct. Garfield Reed spoke about this. Yourself, you spoke about Nazi, and Garfield Reed said that Hebrew camps are sheltering Nazi. So, and it's sensitive because I know he's your friend, but Mighty Hebrew, several people have said that he was convicted for sexual misconduct, that he went to jail for that. He did.
He did.
Well, oh well, okay, well, so you're confirming, So why?
Yeah, everybody know that he went to jail for that. Yeah.
What? You heard that, sister? I'm being very careful.
Okay. Well, let me call Mighty Hebrew. I got you though, but I'll call Mighty Hebrew. I'll call him.
All right. Thank you very much, sister. Good night. Thank you very much. Thank you, sister. Now the elder is gone, but feel free to come back, James Powell. What anybody want to add on? Feel free, brothers.
I mean, I would say I would start off by saying.
Can you hear me, Shaka?
Oh yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, we can hear you, Chris. Go ahead.
Okay. It seems like to me, and this is what upsets me about the Black community, is that we continuously give excuses. Excuses after excuse. Like I said, if I was hanging out with crackhead, people would think I'm a crackhead, right? So there's no way in hell that I will be chilling with anybody that went to actual prison for child molestation. And like someone said in the chat too, it doesn't have to be penetration. It could be touching, fondling, anything inappropriate with the child. It's child molestation, And I don't know, dude. Like, it just seems like, oh man, what's the saying? Birds of a feather flock together. Like these guys are all, man, and then they continuously tell on themselves. And then I just hate how people jump on what you're doing, Shaka, and then they want to try to defend these people. But honestly, I like what you're doing, and seriously, again, like these people have children, so child protective services should get involved in this for real. Like if you guys are like cool with this, you guys have these people around your family, your children don't need to be there, man. We got to protect the babies. I don't care about a Bible, none of that stuff, man. We got to protect the babies, man, for real. And these dudes literally said that they're willing to molest 12 to 9-year-old little girls. So y'all like, man, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna let somebody else talk, but I'm gonna get on.
Now you see here, this is what I thought. She doesn't know these people, but she got his phone number. You know, I thought that, but somebody else wrote in the chat. This is good, Fernanda. Go ahead, V. Bennett, you're free.
Oh no, I was going to say, you know, here's the thing. Here's the thing. What normally should happen, right, is that when you find out a person has committed an act like this, right? I mean, when you apply for a job, they're going to ask you. If you want to work around kids, they're going to ask you. Anything that you do, these are normal concerns, and there's a reason why. Because if you committed an act like this before, if I have you on my platform, I could be endangering other people as well. You see? That's how it works. You're introducing this person to other people. You need to be careful about that. So the sister stresses us speaking about what we're finding out and being shocked about it and asking them to be accountable, asking Sonetta to be accountable, and she's not asking him to be accountable. It's him giving the platform to this person, and he is exposing exposing 100 people a day. We don't know how many, right? Depends on how legit the stats are. Could be 1,000 people a day to this person. That's not normal. That's not normal. That's below the grade. That's way below the standard. You see? And I think that's bothersome, but I'm not surprised because there is something, you know, our community is so repressed a lot of times, and I understand it very well because we've been attacked by others for generations. You see what I mean? So it is very hard for us to come to terms with the fact that, wait a second, it's one of our own, and we have to do something about that too. You see what I mean? There's a sense of disloyalty that we might feel, but you have to be careful about what you give your loyalty to, because that thing can harm you. If you're loyal to something that harms you, it's going to get you, and it's going to get somebody else like you too. The next person like you. What if your daughter starts watching Sonetta TV and meets this guy and then gets his number? What you going to do then? And then you find out that he does something to her. Then you're going to be like, how come nobody said nothing? So you can't have your cake.
The man who's
and eat
supposed
it
to
too.
protect her, you know what I'm saying? But she got a phone number. Maybe she goes on holiday over there. The guy said allegedly, that he's gonna come here for visit. I don't know if she has a daughter, but then indeed some people want to say, well, the man who was supposed to protect us. Well, they were busy saying, well, you know, the white man system, you know what I'm saying, is not to be trusted. You know what I'm saying? You have to be careful what you're saying, you know. Allegations,
if he is convicted of that act, then the only reason why I would have him on my platform is for him to go out there and talk about how he got introduced to that behavior and warn other people to stay away from people like him. Keep other people out of that same trap. If I'm going to have him on my platform at all, that's exactly what he's going to speak about, to deter it, to help solve the problem. But instead, he ain't talking about that at all. He's talking about more, come on into the cult stuff. I mean, come on. You know, it's a shame. Sometimes we so repressed. And I understand it is very unique, but we got to get beyond that because there's devils in every color. you can imagine, in every group of people you can imagine. And if you can't solve the problem yourself, if you're not willing to clean the problem up yourself, how dare you say don't call the police about it? How dare you say the white man or something like, what is this? It's just, I'm sorry, it's mediocrity. And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt for us to get past mediocrity, but we have to get past it, period. Even if it hurts some people. It's better that some people are hurt in the head a little bit than that some little girl and little boy's lives are destroyed. And, you know, seriously.
Bars. Yo, so look, like, this one thing I'm tired about the black community is, like, we got to be held accountable for ourselves. I'm so sick and tired of every time one of our own does something wrong, the first thing we say, oh, well, the white man does it, blah, blah, blah. Bro, we stop comparing ourselves to other cultures and people. You know what I mean? We need to hold ourselves to a higher standard. Like, seriously. Like, I don't care, like, the Asian man, the white man, you know, whoever, man. Like, we need to hold ourselves accountable. Like, we can't allow this to continue in our community. And it's only getting worse by the years. And these people are like, they're not even hiding it. Like, they even tell you. And I'm sorry, man, with the Captain Tazariak joint. Bro, I don't care, like, if I have been friends with you my whole life. Once you're convicted of child molestation, I can't mess with you no more. I'm not sending you money. And you're probably lucky I didn't find out about it before you went to jail. Because you probably wouldn't have made it to jail. You probably would have made it 6 feet deep. You know?
And so that people can have context with what Chris was just saying. We have Chaz here who wrote Christians started child molestation laws retards. So apparently he's labeling us retards. I don't know if maybe he's labeling the people in the chat.
Hey, Chaz, I know you ain't talking to me, bro. Jump on here, bro. I know you ain't talking to me.
But I'm like, you know, you can say Christians started molestation laws. Well, okay. Oh, okay, maybe it's a misunderstanding. Maybe he means actually, maybe he means okay,
the religion.
Those Christians started laws against child molestation. Maybe that's what he meant. Maybe it's just a misunderstanding. But I agree with what Chris said. You know, a lot of time we like to say, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, people may say, well, the Catholic Church, yeah, we know what the Catholic Church does. But the Catholic Church, they don't put those people who are convicted of child molestation to speak publicly on their platform, you know. So I want people to understand. It's not a vendetta.
Actually, they just put,
against yeah.
They just put them in another church. You know that's what they do, right?
Well, that's what they've known for doing, and paying the victims, you know, paying millions of dollars, you know. Basically, the donation that people make is used to pay off.
But to be honest, the Catholic Church is the face of molestation in religion. But I think the child molestation goes across all of Christianity. I was just reading something last night in the news about Jehovah's Witness. Like, Jehovah's Witness have a big scandal in the United States right now, where the whole organization have been basically similar to what the Catholic Church has been doing, like covering up reports of child molestation, moving ministers around and all kind of stuff. There was just something in the news in Philadelphia where I think it's like 19 members of Jehovah's Witness just got, I think they just got maybe arrested or convicted. I got to look at it again. But the Catholic Church is the face, but it's across even the church I grew up in. I heard that stuff growing up.
There's good and bad everywhere. Go ahead, Chris.
And look, I'm passionate about this because I was molested as a child. You know, it's not a joke. You know what I mean? It's psychologically damaging for a person. Luckily for me, I was able to get over it, and I'm able to freely speak about it. But it's real, man. We gotta handle these people, man. And you need to watch who you have around your children, especially women. You know what I mean? And I can give examples. I'm not gonna put out names, but you know, you meet a boyfriend and then you let your boyfriend along with your children. You don't know these people, man. We gotta protect each other. We got to protect each other, man. This shit is real. Y'all talking about this like it's a joke. Well, where does it say this in the Bible, bro? Everything written is by man, even Egypt, everything. Okay, so there's no excuse for none of this stuff. No excuse. So anybody else want to say something? I'm gonna be quiet for a second.
Well, I just wanted to say, just to give it also some context, you know, I was looking at some data, and I also wanted to make sure my data was correct. So I reached out to another person that I know from an organization. She's American, Black American sister, just to make sure that my comments were correct, you know, based on this data. And the reality of it is that in 2020, the sexual assault went up in NYC 300 and some, over 300%, close to 350%, no, 322%. It went up from the year 2000 to 21. And then the year after, it went up another 22%. You see what I mean? That is a huge jump in sexual assaults. And the majority, the biggest group affected in that 300% jump are Black women in New York City, or black people, women, and and children. Sexual assault, man. So it's if it was an issue 10 years ago, it's way more of an issue now. You see what I mean? And it's just it's so, but at the same time, it's just so appalling that people don't see this as a problem. And it's not a one-way, it's not a problem with one horn, because we got to ask ourselves, who is doing the victimizing to these women? It's our men. It's our men. This is an ugly picture at what we call manhood. This is a serious ugly picture. You see, it's and no man, if we're not talking about this issue, we can't claim to be talking about our community. We can't claim to be.
Go ahead, Baruti.
I was saying men and women, like Chris said
earlier.
Yeah,
some women do that. Yes, and there was a case I talked about this. Maybe people will be able to find it on YouTube, but I saw it online. There's a video about it, like not really a documentary, but they talked about this. It was in England, and an imam had molested a girl, like under 10-year-old, I think, but she was she was a minor. She was a minor. So the family, went to the police, and then the people went to the family saying, "No, it's not looking good. It's a bad image for us. Drop the charges." But the family stood firm. No, that's wrong. So then they started harassing the family. Throwing stuff at the house, and insulting them, stuff like that. They ended up, having to move. And some people are like that. No, it's gonna make us look bad. Some people will be like, "Okay, walk it off." What were you doing there anyway? We're not talking about a grown woman who goes to a man's hotel room. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about innocent children. So what I want to say, I'm going to let everybody make the closing remarks. It's not a vendetta against anybody in particular. For those who don't know, they can check my videos. I've been speaking out against rape and pedophilia for years, and I've been saying that Pan-Africans do support rapists and pedophiles. I've been saying that for years, you see. And I'm just surprised at not what I'm seeing now. You know what I'm saying? So people can say for the record that they are against child molesters, but then if they are against child molesters, they need to explain how come they have convicted child molesters and supporters of convicted child molesters on their panel. If the answer to the question, "Are you against child molesters?" is no, then say no more. I get your stance. And anybody who loves to touch on babies know where to go. So let me let's go clockwise. V. Bennett, then Baruti, then Chris. Feel free to make your closing remarks. Sorry, V. Bennett.
Yeah, I'm going to say everybody can take a stand. You're not enslaved. You can make a decision about this. You can say, "I'm not going to share a platform with a convicted molester." You could also say, I'm not going to promote. I'm not going to share a platform with organizations that promote an ideology that makes it seem like it's permitted to be with minors, to sleep with minors, right? You can also say, hey, I'm not going to be on a platform that holds debates and all of a sudden nobody knows where the money went. You could also say, I'm not going to be on a platform with people that have been known or even have enough people saying, hey, I got scammed by this person. You can't share that platform. That makes no, you can't have that kind of behavior existing. It makes no sense if they've been convicted of scamming or not. If you have 100 people that say, hey, Polite scammed me, that's way more than enough to say, whoa, 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 whoa. You need to do something about how you conduct your business because people are saying this and you're affecting my business. That's if you're really about business or if you're really about community. You know, stop making a situation where anything goes to harm or anything is allowed that harms our people when you can be responsible and make sure that few things get in, even in the cipher, that can harm any of us. That's what community is. We're supposed to protect each other from all those things. I don't see it happening at HOK. I don't see it happening with Sinetta, and I'm terribly disappointed. Anybody that want to make it seem like I didn't support my brothers and sisters in the conscious community, man, I used to love it. I used to love it. But then slowly but surely, you see lack of responsibility on all these issues. And when you find out that it's actually dangerous, you have to speak out if you were there supporting it at all. Take a side. Come over here. There's plenty of room.
Thank you, Hubert. Before I let Baruti speak, I want to say that when Tazaria told the young boy who, if I understand correctly, is part African American and part African, some people may say he was just African. Fine. When he told him he would not feed him because they were about to have a cookout or something like that, a barbecue or cookout, he would not feed him because he's part African. People were outraged. And I remember Sanada saying, Tazariak, you're my brother, but you won't be on the platform anymore. Like 2 weeks later, he was back on the platform. Now we have Tazariak on tape saying that he supposed somebody who was convicted for child molestation, that it was a guilty verdict. We don't have a similar response. We had Tazariak on that same platform who says that they, ISUPK, celebrate the death of Africans. You know, so on one hand, a child would not be fed that caused an outrage, and Sanada said, okay, you're not going to be on the platform, even though he was back like 2 weeks later. But then when they say and teach publicly, proudly, that they celebrate the death of Africans, it doesn't seem to bother anybody. But that was just for the record. Sanada, that could change today. Tonight. You can just have to make a choice. You know what I'm saying? You can make a decision. Some people will be disappointed because they like to touch on babies, but a lot of people respect you for that. They will say, okay, you know, he took a bit of time, but he stood firm. You know what I'm saying? Your platform can really grow. How do you think celebrities feel when they see that? So, Baruti, feel free to speak, my brother.
Yeah, I actually want to piggyback from what you said, because I see Sinetta's platform as well, the reason I watch Sinetta platform really is because and I love to see when religion get beat up over on Sinetta. But to piggyback on what you're saying with the teachings and the teachings of ISUPK about not feeding an African, the teachings of the Nation of Islam talking about curse, the teachings of ISUPK talking about what you mentioned earlier,
celebrating the death of Africans.
Not only celebrating the death of actually that celebrating the death of Africans.
Martin Luther King and shit.
I think more honestly, I think more people that attack or deconstruct, religion need to have a voice on that platform, because to me it's louder. It's louder when it comes to the ridiculous teachings. You know what I mean? I think once you dismantle those religious teachings, then people would start seeing things in a clear, common sense way. Yeah, honestly, that's the main reason. A lot of times, I used to like certain people on Sarnet. After I realized they are scammers, up to some got shady characteristics, I would just not listen. Like I would just not listen to them. Like if Sarnetta has someone online, like for example, Polite. Whenever Polite is on Sarnetta, I don't watch it. You know what I mean? Because to me, I know he has a case coming up on what's not. Whether he is innocent or guilty in that case, I don't listen to Polite. To me, he's a real shady character. It's all the characters on there that's shady that I don't listen to. But I like to listen to religious debates because I came out of I came out of a real strict religious background, and I like to see that type of stuff. But I'm gonna go back and listen to the full live stream. I had to cut out for a while and come back in. So, but I appreciate the conversation. There's some other things I want to talk to you about as well, but I'll probably catch you another time.
Thank you very much, Brother Baruti. We go way back. I think it was 2010 on the Ning Network, African Truth. Now, Brother Christopher Davis, feel free to make your closing remarks.
Like I just want to say, peace to Shaka. You're doing the work of the stars. You know, we need to protect what's ours. I've had a conversation with a brother before. You know, a lot of us in the Black community, you know, we like to pretend like we don't see something or sweep things under the rug. Many people, you have child molesters in your family, uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters. We need to protect our children at all times. Be aware. Notice if your child's acting strange. Notice if your child's acting out of character. You know? And I'm riding this till the wheels fall off. These people need to be held accountable for it, and it needs to stop. And about the whole, like, I saw the video with Cesariak, like, in the past, because like I told you, I was in the community like long ago, and I seen like the video with what he said to the African child, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care what skin complexion, I would never let a child starve. I would never let a child starve, you know? So some of these people's remarks, like, they let you know what's within their heart. But all this is about to end. And peace to Shaka. And honestly, like you said, Sonnetter could be bigger than what he is, but constant conversations about nothing, debating the same thing over and over again, you know? And let's get to the real stuff. You know what I mean? Let's really fix and clean up our community. And I think the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life is like when they try to I guess call you Frenchie and all this stuff. I don't care where you are, man.
Hold on, let me ask you, because it's the second time you somebody mentions that to me. The first time I was called Frenchie was on James Smash Rockwell. So I haven't listened to this. Even when Reggie announced that he would do a live stream allegedly correcting my errors, I mean, he maintains that my ad is a bird, so it's amusing to me. Have they been calling me Frenchie on Sinetta's platform?
I like you said, like I stopped watching Sonnetter because it's really nonsense nowadays.
Okay.
But I know that they're attacking you because of you live in France, bro. Y'all are dumb. I live in America. Y'all live in America, but we're not originally from here. Doesn't matter. We know that Black people have been spread out around the planet. So you guys really display your ignorance. Why don't you say the same thing about Sheikh Antidio? You know what I mean? I had I know people from Morocco that have moved to France, Germany. You're gonna tell a Black person that lives in Germany that they're not Black because they speak German? Y'all need to stop being clowns. So like I said, keep doing what you do, Shaka. And so many people are getting exposed and it's getting under their skin, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So peace to you, Shaka. That's all I gotta say. And like I said, let's just protect the babies.
Yeah,
And women.
let's protect the babies. Like Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang is for the babies.
Yep.
Now, indeed, like Chris said, Cheikh Anta Diop did spend time he lived in France for a while. He even married a French lady, but that's another discussion. So thank you very much, brothers and sisters. I appreciate the talk. I don't know what those people thought it would be, but you can see we're speaking nicely. We know how to be profanity filled. You know what I'm saying? And we even go as far as saying, no matter what topic they talk about, if they want to debate religion and even the same topic, because Suma versus Kemet, it was apparently supposed to happen. Now, there's a debate, upcoming debate. It's scheduled less than a month in advance. Now they're much quicker with it, and I think I know why. But um, if they want to, debate, are there aliens? Did aliens build the pyramids? I don't, wouldn't be interested in that topic. But as long as they don't harm anybody or protect or defend or support people who harm children, I'm like, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But here, it's really now you can't leave. Just state for the record, Sanetta, are you against child molesters? Yes or no? If you are against child molesters, why do you have a person convicted for rape against a minor? And why do you have another person who stated publicly on his own platform that he supports his fellow ISUPK member who was convicted of child molestation? There was a guilty verdict. And if you are not against child molesters, just state it for the record, and then I can move to some other people. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not familiar with other people who have convicted child molesters / rapists, or let's say defenders of child molesters and convicted rapists on their platform, let alone on a regular basis. The only platform that I know is that one. So let's see where the conversation leads. I'm not your enemy. I'm not hating on you. Maybe he didn't know because he's very busy. He has a very large platform. But I'm sure a lot of people will vouch to that. And you can go to the live streams and the videos. I've been saying for years, I've been speaking up for years against child molesters and rapists. And I've been mentioning that Pan-Africans do support them. I have several live streams with that title in it, But that video where the dude admitted that he supports his boy, I had it after the so-called Wayne, which was really a setup, but all of this backfired. So thank you very much.
Let me say one thing, Shaka. Hold on. Let me say one thing.
Feel free, brother. Feel free. Yes.
All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Just because they look like you already know what I mean. Bars. That's all I gotta say, Shaka. Peace and love, bro.
Peace. I agree. And the mistake of Pan-Africans is like, as long as somebody is black, then that's it. He's an ally. He's a brother. And I think it's very dangerous to have that mentality. So, brothers and sisters, stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to by the Necheru, I will holler back at you. I don't argue, I state facts. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Do I do Necheru Hotep.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving middle nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So If you're interested in learning the meta nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the meta nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class, and all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Neture class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'atforever.